Eastern.
Hopefully you get a couple guys going at the same time, and we're just looking for consistency. It's been tough, it's been frustrating at times, but also feel good about the progress that certain guys have made and that the progress that we've made in terms of, our prep and our work.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. Time
on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Last night, from a Blue Jays perspective, it started slow. It looked a little shaky at times, and then the offense caught fire with a 9-run explosion over the 5th and 6th innings combined en route to a 10-6 win for Toronto over the Giants. And now the Jays look to win the series in San Francisco this afternoon. Welcome, everybody, to the Sportsnet Radio Network. Eric Smith and former Major Leaguer Chris LaRue with you, alongside host and producer Sho Ali and technical director Tom Young. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers on St. Clair and on Laird Avenue in Toronto. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Kevin Gausman gets the call today for the rubber match, 6-8 for the Jays, and it will be a familiar face from last year on the other side for the Giants, former Blue Jay right-hander Jordan Hicks. It's San Francisco and Toronto. The first pitch right around the corner. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're two men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're two men in a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
So, you want to be a loony dogger, eh? Are you the relish ringleader, 7th inning snacker, TikTok topper, or ketchup king? Every Tuesday, Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the home run hound or value virtuoso, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
It's fantasy football season, because we say it is.
Travis Kelce, touchdown!
From fantasy football strategies to players you need to draft or avoid.
Christian McCaffrey is one of the riskiest #1 overall picks in fantasy football history.
Fantasy Sports Radio is your home to win.
There is no bigger value today than Dak Prescott.
If you're not preparing for the 2024 fantasy football season, you're already losing. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Jays fans, this is George Springer.
Hey Insiders, thanks for joining us for another Toronto Blue Jays game. Please make sure you've hit that like button down below. Click out of the chat for a second, hit that like button, and help this stream grow and get more Blue Jays fans here to hang out with us live during the game. This community is absolutely insane. It has grown like crazy, and I know that it will only continue to grow because of what you guys do as well as what I'm doing. So thank you so much. Please share this out to your friends. Please make sure that like is clicked, and let's get back to the baseball. Let's go Blue Jays. Finish strong.
And I guess if I look at the last two games, Chris, it was a really good start for Yusei Kikuchi, but he ultimately, it was a no decision for him, but the Jays lost. Yet last night, Chris Bassett comes back. He struggles, doesn't look great, but somehow finds a way to stay in it, to battle through, and he got the offense that he ultimately needed. What can we expect from Gausman today?
Well, I think Kevin Gausman, first of all, has figured something out. In his last start, he struck out 10 guys in 6 innings against Seattle. But he's really figured out how to throw that four-seamer to the top of the zone, the top of the strike zone, and to the bottom of that strike zone. And that's important because that split finger doesn't really work as well if he's throwing the fastball all over the place, if he's spraying the fastball over the place. The reason why that is because opposing lineups, when they're facing Kevin Gausman, they basically say to themselves, see the ball up. Because of that split finger, because the diving action of that split finger, if that pitch is at the top of the strike zone, they just leave it. Or sorry, they swing the bat because it's up. If that pitch is at the bottom of the strike zone, they just leave it because the split finger breaks out of the zone. So if Kevin Gausman can throw that fastball at the bottom of the strike zone, he gets free strikes because most opposing rosters and most opposing offensive, they just take that pitch. So that free strike is there for the taking. And if Kevin Gausman can hit that bottom of the strike zone with that fastball, he's going to be great today.
Blair and Barker will have Jays talk after the ball game today, but during the game, our host that will be checking in on the out-of-town scoreboard and a whole lot more is Show Ali, and we head over to Show right now in baseball control. Show?
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Chris. Before we check out the lineups and the Bet365 standings update, speaking of Blair and Barker, let's get one last look ahead, courtesy of the guys. They spoke to Hunter Pence yesterday, NBC Sports Bay Area color analyst, and of course, two-time World Series champion. Pence discussed swing decisions at the plate. Always pretty cool, and Barker talks hitting with a guy like Pence. And he also discussed the starter for the Giants today, a guy you might be familiar with, former Blue Jay Jordan Hicks.
You played on some good teams. You won some World Series. How do you not try too hard?
You know what? This is definitely the age-old question. And I remember being a young guy having some ruts where everyone would tell me that and you didn't understand it. But the more you study, the game of baseball, and you're looking at what is, the task at hand is to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed each time. And it's you obviously care so much, but your highest chance of succeeding is a relaxed state. You're more, fluidity is more accurate, fixated muscles. So you have to kind of let go and trust and be willing, honestly, to take a bad swing, to trust that it's going to pan itself out. But really, when you trust in the process and you just create a routine that you can believe in and regardless of results, I think that's how you don't try too hard. So if you're swinging too hard and sped up and your front side, a lot of times those are the things. And this is what, Pat Burrell was telling me in his talks with Soler. He's you're swinging so hard. Look at what God gave you. You're 6'5" and you're massive and you're strong. Do less. And so try to do a little less and trust what you already have. And as soon as he did that and he started slowing down, and if you look at Ramos right now when he's batting, I'm not sure if y'all watched the game last night, but how slow is his pace? I know y'all watched Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for so long, and when Bo Bichette is right, it's a very slow pace. And I know that's kind of an anomaly in and of itself. A couple of your veterans, the Springer and the Bo Bichette, you could have never saw that coming. But, these guys, when they're locking in, everything, the body slows down. You almost think of the Panthers. So you got to slow down. And for me, a lot of times it was I want to just lock in on hitting a hard ground ball at the second baseman. That's enough for me. And everything has to come into alignment to do that. And even if you try to do that with a big league pitcher, it's going to end up doing lots of great things.
Jays are getting Jordan Hicks tomorrow. What are you seeing from him? What do you like? What do you dislike?
I mean, I like everything about Jordan Hicks. More so, obviously, his numbers and the way he's been able to pitch and eat innings. The thing that I've really enjoyed is my conversations with him. I think the body language, the leadership in the clubhouse that he's brought some intangibles. He's got just natural, real confidence. And when the Giants had hit some really, really tough spurts and they were going through the thick of it, he was a guy that his words were we're going to get out of this. We're a good team. And you could see it in his body language, the leadership that he's carrying the team with. And he was just showing up and posting. You're looking at the fastball's not doing what he was doing, 105, 101, just one inning, but he'll run it up there whenever he calls it closer mode. If runners get in scoring position, the game gets tight, the velo is going to get up, but he's trusting the split.
It's a really nasty split. He gets a lot of ground balls, and just a character guy that's been meant a lot to the team and the leadership in the clubhouse.
It's been really fascinating because in this day and age of velo, Hunter, I don't have to tell you, this is the guy that, in some cases has actually taken velocity off and become he's always going to have great stuff, but become even a little bit more of a pitcher. When the Giants signed this guy, and I was trying to think back to what Farhan said at the time, if I'm not mistaken, they seemed really confident that he was going to be able to make this transition, didn't they? Because, it's guys go the other way, but kind of a guy that the Cardinals thought might eventually be a closer going back to start. You don't always see that.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, intrinsically, Jordan wanted to start. He's like, I want to start, and he wants to face the best in the league. He's one of these guys that loves the competition, loves the work, loves to get into the thick of it. And so I think when you have an attitude like that, and he's like, I'm going to prove it to you, and he just like that, like I said, that natural confidence. And for the Giants, obviously we love the talent, we love the character, we love the guy. And it's like, yeah, you want this, and we needed a role, we needed a starter, and if that didn't work out, you can always bring him back, and he has tremendous value in the bullpen. Let's get back your confidence, But he just from the get-go in spring training, he was on a mission. He was determined to show up, and that's what he did. Coming up in the Cardinals organization, he was a starter, and that's what he enjoys more. He wanted to pitch more, and so I think when it's intrinsic like that, and it means a lot, and honestly, the mental and the competitiveness and the confidence that he has. But he's also just a crazy athlete, and the skill to really master that split and to work through lineups and honestly also staying dynamic. I think Brian Price, the pitching coach of the Giants, he loves the pitchers that don't just follow the spreadsheet, that look at the hitter, that compete with the hitter. I think anyone that's been in combat or been in sports and the speed of the game, if you just fall back on the cookie cutter, what the sheet says, they're going to figure you out. And so he's playing the game, and he's got a lot of feel, and he's got a lot of weapons.
That is Hunter Pence, two-time World Series champion, on with Blair and Barker. You can find the whole conversation. They talked a whole bunch of things, but just a little snippet of it there for you. But you can find the whole thing on the Blair and Barker podcast feed. Before we get to the lineups, let's check out the standings update, courtesy of Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet. You can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. Let's check out the AL East entering play today. The Orioles, they are 57-35. The Yankees are 2 games back. They are 56-38. The Red Sox are 50-41. The Rays are 45-47. Rays and Yankees playing a series now. And the Blue Jays are 42-50. Before we send you back to Eric and Chris, let's get to the lineups. Here's John Schneider's lineup. George Springer is batting leadoff. He is in right field. Spencer Horwitz is batting second at second base. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is batting third at first base. Justin Turner is DHing today. He is batting cleanup. Batting fifth is Danny Jansen, who is catching at third base. He of the 2 straight nights with 3-run shots. It's Ernie Clement. He is batting sixth. Batting seventh is Davis Schneider in left field. In center field is Kevin Kiermaier batting eighth. And batting ninth is Leo Jimenez at shortstop. So no Dalton Varsho. He is day-to-day with the leg contusion. No Bo Bichette. He is also day-to-day with what's being called by John Schneider a right calf fascia strain. Kevin Gausman, who I'm watching on the screens here at Baseball Control, he will pitch against his former team, the Giants, for his current team, the Blue Jays. For the Giants, here's their starting lineup. Jorge Soler is DHing today. He is batting leadoff. Patrick Bailey is catching. He is batting second. Elliot Ramos is in center field. He is batting third. Michael Conforto is cleaning up. He is in left field. Former Blue Jay Matt Chapman is batting fifth. He is at third base. Mike Yastrzemski is in right field batting sixth. Batting seventh, Wilmer Flores at first base. At second base, Jairo Estrada, is batting eighth. And batting ninth is Brett Wisely. He is at shortstop. Jordan Hicks, former Blue Jay as well, pitches for San Francisco. And don't forget, we do have Jays Talk today. Blair and Barker of the Postgame Show. You heard them talking to Hunter Pence. They will talk to you once this game is over. Jeff will throw the numbers to call after this game is in the books. All right, we're a couple minutes away from first pitch. Let's get you over to the action with the call of today's game. Here's Eric Smith and Chris LaRue.
All right, thanks very much, Show. Yes, indeed, we're getting set for this first pitch. Beautiful day in San Francisco. The crowd starting to filter in a little bit. Quite a few empty seats right now, but I'm sure it's kind of hard to deke out on a Thursday. hopefully some people are able to kind of have that late lunch or early checkout on a Thursday.
I guess the Giants don't have work from Dome.
I suppose not. I guess not. They're going to have to steal from the Blue Jays promotion, I suppose. A big game for the Jays as they look to win a second straight and carry some momentum into the weekend series against Arizona. The Diamondbacks just ahead of the Giants in the NL West, sitting at 46 and 47. The Giants coming in at 45 and 48, but a big opportunity for the Blue Jays, as I said, to maybe win 2 in a row and go into that series with momentum against Arizona before the All-Star break. And you may be catching other opponents in the AL East at the right time, because there's no denying that the Yankees have struggled quite a bit now for almost a month, if not longer. And now Baltimore has fallen into a bit of a rough time the last couple of games. So there are chances here to make up some ground in the East. But as you said last night, you got to take care of business.
You have to take care of business, but also you're being incredibly optimistic and positive today. I like that. I like that attitude.
Just trying to be real, man. Just trying to keep it real. I'm not optimist. I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist.
You're not talking about the third wild card. You're talking about the AL East crown.
There you go. That glass is not half empty or half full. It's just a glass, and it's just sitting there ready to be touched and drank. Here we go. George Springer leading things off for the Blue Jays. Playing in right field today, facing Jordan Hicks. And the first pitch inside. First pitch at 3:45 Eastern Time. And the second pitch looked like it was a little bit outside, but they get the call, the Giants do, from home plate umpire Bill Miller. So call it a strike, and it's now 1-1. And the next pitch way outside on a sweeper, 2-1.
I don't know what those first two pitches were. Jordan Hicks has a fastball that he can run up to 97, 98, but those first two pitches were 89 and 90. Keep an eye on that.
Hicks 4-5 on the season, a 3.47 ERA, 82 Ks on the year. And the 2-1 pitch to Springer is ripped into left field on a base hit. Picking it up off one hop is Michael Conforto, but leading off the ball game with a single is George Springer.
And another fastball, I believe, at 90 miles an hour from Jordan Hicks. George Springer was right on that thing. That thing was thigh high right down the middle. He drilled that thing over the shortstop.
And that brings up the number 2 hitter, the lefty, Spencer Horwitz, playing at second base this afternoon. Horwitz, 318, his average on the season. Hicks with the pitch. Again, looked like it was outside the zone, but Bill Miller says that's a strike. The sinker just under 91 miles an hour.
I can't be the only one that's concerned right now.
About the velo?
Yeah.
Hicks with the 0-1 pitch. That one high, missing on the sweeper, 1-1.
Hicks starting his 19th game this season. Last year, he threw in 65 games, 0 starts.
Springer with the lead at first. He's staying where he is. The 1-1 pitch, and Horwitz jumps on it but rips it way foul down into the right field corner, about 20 rows deep. And the count now sits at 1-2. Last 6 games, Spencer Horwitz, his average sitting at .421. And again, a pretty solid .318 on the season overall. The 1-2 pitch. And Horwitz fouls it off against his leg down into the dirt. Fresh baseball for Hicks. Count still sits at 1-2.
And the thing I love about Horwitz is he'll always give you a good at-bat. Whether he gets a hit or not, that's a different story, but he's always going to give you a good at-bat.
Hicks checks over his left shoulder, looking over at first base at George Springer. The 1-2 pitch. And it's high, just high on a fastball at 92. Now 2-2 to Horwitz. Springer at first after that leadoff hit to start this ball game. The 2-2 pitch and another one fouled off, this time down the third base side. And another fresh baseball for Hicks at 2-2. He's now thrown 10 pitches here, facing his second batter of the ball game. Horwitz adjusts the helmet. Gets set. Hicks checks Springer again. The pitch. He came inside. Horwitz jumps on it, sends another one deep into the right field corner. And this one about 6 rows deep into the stands. And again, we'll do it at 2-2. He continues to battle. That was a sweeper that he jumped on that was clocked right at about 80 miles an hour. Looks like they're trying to set up inside now. The 2-2 pitch. And Horwitz gets on that one, sends it into center field for a base hit, and it goes off the glove of Ramos. He didn't come up with it cleanly. That's allowing Horwitz to get to second. He dives head first. Springer at third, and the Jays with second and third and none outs.
Well, that base running right there from Spencer Horwitz was pretty great. As soon as Ramos bobbled that ball in center field, Spencer Horwitz was on his horse, and he was sprinting into second. You could see Ramos bobble it right there. That is a tough play. It should be first and third, but instead it's second and third, and still nobody out for the Blue Jays.
And that brings up, of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the number 3 hitter, the big righty, with 52 runs batted in this season. His average sitting at 290. The pitch from Hicks. And Vladdy sends it out to second base. It's picked up by Estrada over to Flores at first. And an RBI for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
And I don't mind that at all. It's almost like he was trying to do that. He knew that the infield was back, giving the Blue Jays that run. He hit that thing weakly on the ground to second base. The Blue Jays score an easy run. 1-0 Blue Jays here with 1 out in first inning.
And Horwitz moves over to third. So now he's sitting there on the corner for Justin Turner. His first at-bat of the game, and like every other ball game, he's met with a chorus of boos from the Giants fans. Hicks gets set. The pitch to Turner. He fouls it off his left foot and kind of hobbles away from the box, trying to walk that one off for a second.
And again, those boos aren't because he's a bad guy. It's just because he absolutely crushed the Giants during his tenure with the Dodgers.
And how about the Blue Jays thus far in this series? We haven't said this a lot this season. Absolutely destroying the Giants with runners in scoring position. Hitting .389, including Vladdy's at-bat moments ago, where he was able to get in a run, albeit on the ground out to second. Turner with a 1-1 count. The pitch from Hicks. Outside. Nice patience there from Turner as he held off on that sweeper. It's now 2-1.
And now with 1 out, the Giants have the infield in. So Justin Turner is going to have to at least hit something very hard to get it through the infield, or lift something to the outfield to score that run from third base.
The leg kick and the delivery. And Turner dribbles it down to third, but it's in foul territory, picked up by Chapman. Horwitz had taken off right away and would have scored, but again, that was in foul ground, so we'll do it again now at 2-2.
Yeah, it looked like Horwitz was going on contact right there. As soon as that ball hit the bat and he saw that it was going to be on the ground, Spencer Horwitz was on his horse going home, and he would have scored pretty easily if that ball was fair.
So Turner steps back in and digs in with 1 out. Top of the first, Blue Jays leading 1-0. The 2-2 pitch from Hicks. Outside, down low, missed on a sweeper again. It's now 3-2. Hicks looking over at third. The 3-2 pitch, and Turner sends it to right field. It's going to be caught, but that's going to cash in Spencer Horwitz, who tags and comes home, and the Blue Jays now lead 2-0.
And Justin Turner knew exactly what he needed to do in that at-bat right there. He gets the fastball, he gets underneath it, and he hits a nice, easy fly ball deep enough to right field to score that run. And now the Blue Jays have an early 2-0 lead. Still in the first inning against Jordan Hicks.
First time in this series the Jays have had the first lead. They were down in game 1, 1-0, and they were down 2-0 last night. First pitch, catching the outside edge on a sinker clocked at 94, and a 0-1 count to Danny Jansen, batting .217 on the season. Jansen digs in for pitch number 2. Outside, it's 1-1.
That fastball from Jordan Hicks is slowly starting to creep up. It was 89, 90, 91 to start the ball game. Now it's about 93, 94.
The 1-1 pitch. And Jansen down on one knee, sends a rocket to left, and it's gone. Solo shot for Danny Jansen. It's 3-0 Toronto.
Well, that was actually a good pitch from Jordan Hicks. It was a good sinker down and in, and you said it, down on one knee. Danny Jansen goes down and golfs that thing over the wall in left field. Now the Blue Jays are up 3-0 in the top of the first.
Albeit from the other side of the plate, as a lefty, I'm getting flashbacks of Ernie Witt dropping down to that one knee and sending the moonshot to left field. Danny Jansen puts on the jacket, and it's all high fives and a shower of sunflower seeds. It looks like a wedding in there as the Jays now lead 3-0 with Ernie Clement stepping up.
His right knee was actually down on the ground when he finished right there. It's pretty.
Clement has been the power for the Jays the last two nights. A 3-run shot last night and a 3-run shot in the opening game. Got in on the home run party first. On the solo shot moments ago, Clement, though, would love to keep it going. 3-0 Toronto, top of the first, 2 out, and now a 3-0 count to Clement as Hicks just missed on the sinker way outside. The 3-0 delivery. And that one low and outside. 4 straight balls to Ernie Clement, and he takes the trot down to first.
I would say that was a good at-bat, but it really, none of those pitches were even remotely close to the zone. It was an easy walk for Ernie Clement.
So that will have a visit to the mound for Jordan Hicks as Flores comes over from first base as well. And Patrick Bailey, the catcher today, on the mound. Kind of chatting about the game plan right now and probably just trying to settle down Jordan Hicks over his first 11 games this season. Hicks had an ERA at 2.33, and opposing batters were hitting just 2.09. The last 7 games, though, a 5.51 ERA with batters hitting 3.08 against him. And clearly the Blue Jays are getting in on that party.
And I think it has to be the stuff. I've seen a few games this season that Jordan Hicks has started, and he has that really good life through the zone. He just doesn't have that life today, and probably over the last 7 games hasn't really had much of that life either. The bite on the slider really isn't there. Like we said, the fastball isn't 95 to 97 like it normally is, and the Blue Jays are taking advantage.
Davis Schneider now up. Took a first pitch for a ball as Hicks missed on a sweeper. The 1-0 pitch is down Main Street. The sinker is good, clocked at 92, and it's 1-1. Schneider, the right-handed hitting left fielder for the Blue Jays. Came off the bench last night and played well. Came in place of Dalton Varsho. Swings through the next pitch, and it's now 1-2. The word we got today was that Varsho, with the knee contusion, did take some at-bats prior to the game and might be or could be potentially available if needed off the bench. The 1-2 pitch from Schneider, or to Schneider, excuse me, is down low. As that sweeper again was no good, it's now 2-2. With Clement at first and 2 down, the Blue Jays leading 3-0. The 2-2 pitch. And Schneider sends it to first, kind of weakly on the ground, picked up with ease by Flores. He steps on the bag, and that will do it, but not before the Blue Jays get 3 runs and an early 3-0 lead. San Francisco coming up for the first time next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza Pizza's big hitter, Fixed Rate Pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. How about 99 right down the middle beats Manzardo?
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you, getting set for the San Francisco Giants and their first at-bats of this ball game. We are in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. And the Blue Jays lead 3-0. First pitch from Kevin Gausman, a fastball clocked at 92, and it's an 0-1 count to Jorge Soler. The 0-1 delivery, a little bit too low down in the zone. It's now 1-1. This has got to feel good for a pitcher to step in with a 3-zip lead.
Oh, it's
massive weight off the shoulders.
It's like a birthday present.
It's going to set me up perfectly for the shutout I've got to do. The 1-1 pitch to Soler inside. No good. It's now 2-1. Birthday. My dad's birthday is today. And a shout out to Alfred Smith. 78 today. The big 7-8. Happy birthday, Dad. The 2-1 pitch from Gausman. That one, did not catch the bottom edge of the zone. Okay.
I didn't know your dad had such a solid name.
Alfred?
He probably gets complimented all the time, I would imagine.
Most know him as Alf. The 3-1. Soler knocks it to third. Nice grab there by Clement, and he throws it on the run cross field to Guerrero to get the out. Beautiful play there by Clement, who had a hot hand last night too.
Yeah, cutting in front of Leo Jimenez there. I don't think if Leo catches that ball on the backhand in that hole, I don't think he would have been able to throw Soler out across the diamond. So it's a good thing that Ernie cut in front of him, made that play, and made the nice, easy throw across the diamond.
I mean, Clement has had the hot stick, but he's been flashing the leather as well, and we just saw it again right there. Nice range from Clement. Brings up Bailey, swinging at the first pitch. Patrick Bailey, the left-handed hitting catcher, sends it into the stands up and over the Giants dugout, about 20 rows deep. And now Gausman ahead 0-1. The 0-1 delivery. They're looking to go high, and Gausman put it right where Jansen wanted it. The fastball fouled off. It's now 0-2. First inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. The 0-2 pitch. That one a little bit too low. The splitter no good. It's 1-2. Bailey hitting .280 on the season. We've seen him in every game of this series, and he has played well against Toronto. And that one a little bit low as well, missing on the splitter. It's now 2-2.
It looks like Patrick Bailey does have that see it up mentality, the approach that you probably need against a guy like Kevin Gausman.
The 2-2 pitch. And this one sent to the other side of the field to Clement, who was playing almost at the shortstop spot. He got to the ball but wasn't able to make the throw in time, and Bailey is on with an infield single.
Yeah, Bailey actually hit that ball where the third baseman normally plays when they're playing straight up, but like you said, Ernie Clement was almost where the shortstop normally plays. He basically had no chance to throw Bailey out once he made that play. Pretty smart from Bailey.
So one down here in the bottom of the first, and now a runner on for Elliot Ramos, who comes up. Ramos takes the first pitch. A fastball clocked at 94 down Main Street, and an 0-1 count. Ramos in 56 games this season with 13 homers, 43 runs batted in, and his average still over 300 at 301. The 0-1 from Gausman. Down Main Street. Jansen wanted it a little bit higher, but it didn't matter as Ramos fouls it off and a quick 0-2 count. Blue Jays leading 3-0. Gausman with the 0-2 pitch. Again, left it over the middle of the plate as they were trying to go high. Ramos fouled it off on a four-seamer clocked at 96.
Yeah, Danny Jansen was basically standing up, wanted that fastball around the neck. And Kevin Gausman threw that 96-mile-an-hour fastball thigh high right down the middle. He got lucky right there. Ramos wants that pitch back.
Again, the 0-2 pitch coming from Kevin Gausman. The leg kick, the delivery, and Ramos got underneath it. He sends it on a ride to left field. Back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Schneider just looked up at it and saw it go over the wall into the first row, and a fan booted the catch. But it's not going to matter to Ramos. A two-run shot takes that 3-0 lead that the Jays had and chops it to just one run.
And that can't happen. You can give up a home run. I don't mind that. But giving a home run up on an 0-2 count, 0-2 pitch right there. The first pitch was a fastball right down the middle on that 0-2 count, and that split finger right there was a very hittable pitch. Ramos goes down and gets it at the bottom of that strike zone and golfs it out of here. It's really inexcusable.
That brings up Michael Conforto, the left-handed hitter. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it off, up and over the backstop. 0-1 count. Conforto, the left fielder. Trying to keep this inning going for the Giants with only one down. He would love to get on for Matt Chapman. Swing and a miss at pitch number 2. It was outside the zone, but he got caught on a nasty splitter there from Gausman, and again, an 0-2 count.
Well, I bet this pitch here will be way out of the strike zone. There's no way Kevin Gausman makes that same mistake throwing a hittable pitch on an 0-2 count.
Gausman pitching against his former team, the Giants, and of course on the other side, same thing with Jordan Hicks, who played in Toronto last year. The 0-2 delivery down in the dirt. And they checked down at third, and third base umpire Chad Whitson said nope, he held back. It's 1-2.
It seemed like he was making sure that Conforto does not hit a home run on that pitch right there, bouncing that split finger. That's where that pitch should have been to Ramos, bouncing it right behind home plate.
You got him, Mike. You got him.
All right, there's a very vocal fan that must be sitting right beside our field side microphone. We'll check in with him from time to time throughout the ballgame. Come on, Mike, you got it. That one low for Conforto. It's now 2-2.
He's our sideline reporter.
Yeah, there you go. See if we can find out his last name or even his first name. So now 2 straight balls from Kevin Gausman, a 2-2 count for Conforto. The pitch is dribbled on the ground out to second, picked up by Horwitz. Over to Vladdy. There's 2 down. And another former Blue Jay. We talked about Hicks pitching in this ballgame. Here comes Matt Chapman, batting .241 in 90 games. And he has actually hit the ball very well of late if we take out last night. He had a rough night. A couple of times he came up with the bases loaded and unable to come through for his team on both occasions. Now trying to keep this first inning alive with the Giants trailing 3-2. Toronto got 3 runs, but San Francisco got 2 back moments ago off the bat of Elliot Ramos. Chapman down on the count, 0-1. The pitch. And Chapman sends it into center. It's dropping, but coming in and making the grab is Kevin Kiermaier. Very few get in front of him as he turned on the Jets to make the catch, and we go to the second with Toronto leading 3-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you like yacht rock, you're gonna love Yacht Soul. A new Sirius XM channel with the same smooth, but even more groove.
Just the two of us. Turn your lover.
Soulful and funky. Yacht Soul. Year-round in a Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Second inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. First pitch comes in, a sinker in for a strike against Kevin Kiermaier, the #8 hitter. And quickly with pitch number 2, Kiermaier has to contort out of the way. That one nearly hit his kneecap. The sweeper way inside. It's now 1-1.
Jordan Hicks just threw his 33rd pitch of the ball game.
And now Kiermaier jumps on the third pitch and sends it out into left field, opposite field, past the shortstop, Brett Wisely, and Kiermaier on to start this second inning.
Brett Wisely was shaded towards second base. Kevin Kiermaier hit that baseball where the shortstop would normally play. Just a well-placed ground ball right there. Kevin Kiermaier with the leadoff single.
And that brings up the shortstop, Leo Jimenez, playing in place of Bo Bichette today. Again, we're waiting to find out if Bichette is going to head to the IL leading into the All-Star break or not. A calf strain suffered last night. And no official word yet from the Blue Jays as to what the next steps may or may not be. First pitch, a ball. Second one comes in down Main Street. Jimenez jumps on it, sends it out to second, though, and the Giants turn the double play. 4-6-3, and the Jays suddenly with 2 down.
Well, Leo Jimenez hit that baseball pretty hard, but right at the second baseman, Tyro Estrada, he turns the easy double play. That's about as easy as it gets right there. 2 quick outs.
Back to the top of the order we go with George Springer. Springer had a base hit to lead off the ball game. First pitch comes in. Nice looking sinker there from Hicks, and an 0-1 count.
He's got all kinds of movement on that sinker. That one right there, 95 at the top of the strike zone. You could see George Springer react awkwardly.
And now Springer jumps on the next pitch and sends it deep down the right field line into the stands, about 10 rows toward that right field corner, and down on the count 0-2. Blue Jays leading 3-2 here in the second inning. Hicks with the 0-2 pitch outside on the splitter, down in the dirt. It's 1-2. Hicks with the leg kick and the delivery outside again on the sweeper. It's now 2-2. Nice patience there from George. But a month ago, he'd be chasing a couple of those.
Oh, a month ago, he's sitting in the dugout right now, getting ready for that the bottom half of the second inning. It's a good take from George Springer.
The 2-2 pitch. They tried to come inside on Springer. He grounds it over to third, picked up by Chapman. Throws over to first to Flores to get the out, and that will do it for the Blue Jays. We head to the bottom of the second. Toronto still leading, though, 3-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
We're twomeninatruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day, Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fielded at second. Horwitz steps on the bag, throws to first. Double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Bottom of the second inning. Blue Jays leading the Giants 3-2. Toronto's 3 runs came in the top of the first. San Fran got 2 in the bottom of the first, so the Blue Jays will hope to shut that down here and maintain their lead as we get set for Kevin Gausman to take to the mound. Toronto just went 1-2-3 in the top of the second, and the Jays would love to do the same to the Giants. The right fielder, the left-handed hitting right fielder, Mike Yastrzemski, is about to lead things off for San Francisco, and for whatever reason, Kevin Gausman is having an issue with the baseball he was given, and he wants another one.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman doesn't like either. Actually, that's the second baseball that he's seen that he gave back.
Well, we go down to our field side reporter in San Francisco and said, come on, Kevin, let's go. Let's just play. I don't know if that's coming through the car radios or the radios at the cottage as well as in our headsets, but the dude sitting by our field side microphone is as clear as day in my headset.
Home plate umpire Bill Miller just gave back every single ball in his bag to one of the bat boys, and he got a whole new set of baseballs, and now he's walking back to home plate. Kevin Gausman's ready.
So again, it's Mike Yastrzemski to lead things off for the Giants here in the bottom of the second. First pitch is in for a strike. The fastball clocked at 93.01.
I guess it worked. The new baseball worked.
Whatever it takes. Gausman with the next pitch, down low in the zone on the splitter. It's now 1-1. I'll stop mentioning it because it's almost a week ago now, but being at the Savannah Bananas game this past weekend, the baseballs are actually yellow as well. Like they're leather, they're real baseballs, but they're tinted or stained or whatever, dyed yellow.
You sure they're not just old?
No, they're yellow
and dirty.
Because I caught a baseball. It was.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
With your bare hands?
No, it ricocheted off the top of the stadium, fell down and hit my brother-in-law in the back, and I grabbed it off his back and I handed it to him, and he gave it to his daughter. The 1-2 pitch to Yastrzemski fouled off down the third base side, and it will stay at 1-2. Only the second time in my life I've ever got a fouled, like a legitimately a fouled off baseball.
I've never got one. Well, I always try to stay behind the netting because I don't want to get hit.
You stood on the mound, man. Yastrzemski out to second, backhanded grab by Horwitz, who turns and fires cross body to Vladdy. Beautiful play at second base by Spencer Horwitz.
Well, he's not really known for his glove, more of an offense-first guy, but that was a great play, ranging up the middle to his right and then throwing a strike across his body to Vlad at first base. That's a great play. Anyways, and ironically, you mentioned that I did pitch. I played 12 professional seasons. I never got hit by a baseball, not one time.
That is pretty wild. This brings up Wilmer Flores, the number 7 hitter, the right-handed hitting first baseman, fouls off the first pitch down the first base side and an 0-1 count. That is wild to me. 12 years he never got hit. Because I could tell you the war stories or the horror stories of my, beer league softball and high school baseball days and whatever. I had multiple injuries involving getting hit by baseballs. Probably why I didn't play in the majors or any level significantly. The 1-1 pitch now to Flores. Gausman sends it in on a sinker. It's grounded out to third. Clement picks it up, throws to Vladdy, shuts down Flores, and there's 2 down. So Thairo Estrada comes up now with 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning. More than $6 million has been raised for kids in Jays Care programs this season through the 50-50 draws. Each time you buy a 50-50 ticket, you're helping get more kids off the sidelines and into the game. Plus, you could win some incredible prizes, folks. Show your support and get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050. First pitch to Estrada came inside, off the handle, straight back at Gausman, who runs over to first, and an underhand toss to Vladdy, and that will do it. The Giants go 1-2-3, and on to the third we go. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit bluejays.com. Junior J Sunday.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
In time! What a play, Bo Bichette!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers on St. Clair and on Laird Avenue in Toronto. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. First pitch to Spencer Horwitz in for a strike. The sweeper at about 77 miles an hour and an 0-1 count. The pitch inside on the splitter, now 1-1. Horwitz jumps on the next pitch, bounces it out to second base, though. Picked up by Thairo Estrada, over to first to Flores, and there's 1 down. So that brings up Vladdy. Guerrero 0 for 1 in the ball game, but did pick up the RBI, knocking in the first run of the game for the Blue Jays. Vladdy, his average 289 with now 53 runs batted in. Blue Jays leading 3-2 over the Giants here in the top of the third. And the first pitch from Hicks looked like it might have been a bit outside, but they give him the call. The sweeper good for a strike. It's 0-1. I think our field side reporter is just shouting out random things now as Vladdy sends one to center field on a line and a relatively easy grab for Elliot Ramos. There's 2 down.
It seems like Jordan Hicks is gradually getting a little bit better in this ball game. That fastball right there still was only 91 miles an hour, but a lot more movement. He's kind of working the corners a little bit better than he did in that first inning when he gave up the 3 runs.
And again, the Boo Birds come out for Justin Turner, the former Dodger, as he steps up for the second time in this ball game. The average sits at 240 on the season. 2 down here in the third. The first pitch comes way inside, missing on the sinker. It's 1-0. Sac fly with an RBI back in his first at bat in the first inning. And the 1-0 pitch catches the inside edge of the zone, the upper portion. It's good for a strike. Turner didn't like the call, but it certainly looked like it was a strike. 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch sent foul down the third base side, down the line, and it bounces off the tarp there, rolled up against the wall.
You think that guy's having a good time?
It certainly seems like it. The only thing I wonder is if he's by himself, because I'm not hearing any other voices.
He sounds like he's by himself.
So he's having his own party, making his own fun. The 1-2 pitch to Turner, and he gets underneath it. I don't know that it'll have the legs, though. Ramos back on the track, and Turner missed it by about 5, maybe 7 feet. So it's a long flyout that ends the third inning for the Blue Jays. We go to the bottom of the third. Toronto still on top, 3-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
1:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Great American Getaway 400, presented by VisitPA.com.
From Pocono Raceway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes!
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio, every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you from the Timber Mart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timber Mart stores are family-owned and operated and know the value in giving back to communities they serve. Now, more than ever, it's important to shop local. First pitch to Brett Wisely in the bottom of the third is in for a strike. The fastball good for an 0-1 count. The 0-1 pitch, also a strike. Another fastball clocked at 93 and quickly an 0-2 count. Gausman has now thrown 32 pitches. And this one fouled off by Wisely. And we'll do it again at 0-2. This is the first at-bat for Wisely, the number 9 hitter. in the San Fran lineup.
Well, that pitch right there was supposed to be up again above the strike zone, and he throws that thing. Not a bad pitch. It was on the outside part of the plate, but not a pitch you want to throw 0-2.
How about that one? Down Main Street, maybe a little nudge inside, but either way, a fastball at 97, and Wisely gets caught looking. The first strikeout of the game for Kevin Gausman.
And again, you could see Danny Jansen almost standing up straight. That fastball was supposed to be about neck high, and he throws that thing, like you said, pretty good, pretty close to down the middle.
Jorge Soler up for the second time in the ballgame. The leadoff man for the Giants today, the DH, the right-handed hitting DH, takes the first pitch a little bit low in the zone for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, that one straight down the middle, clocked at 95, and it's 1-1.
After Kevin Gausman struck out Wisely on that fastball right down the middle, he was staring up at the sky. You can kind of sense the frustration that he's not getting that baseball above the strike zone.
And the next pitch comes down in the dirt, and it's going to be a strike. Soler kind of erratically went after that, and he broke the wrist. They checked down at first. And Alex Mackey says, yes, indeed, you went. It's a 1-2 count now for Gausman. Again, it looked like Jansen was trying to set up a little bit higher, not quite standing up, but that one down low in the zone on the splitter. It's now 2-2. Just had my eyes creep over to the San Fran broadcast for a second, and they flashed up the stat that Gausman has batters hitting .305 against his fastball this season. And that average will not go up in spite of the fact that Soler just ripped a hard line drive off a fastball all the way out to the wall, and Schneider got on his horse and made the grab just before hitting the wall.
Well, ironically, Gausman got that baseball above the strike zone, a good fastball at 96, but it seemed like Soler was cheating fastball right there. Kind of chops down on that baseball, hits a line drive. Almost out of here, probably about 5 feet from that wall. David Schneider was able to run it down right in front of that wall in left field.
I have a theory as to why Schneider played so well last night and seems to be turning things around.
What's your theory?
The stash is back. He tried to go beard for a while.
Yeah, he's not a beard guy.
No, he needs mustache power.
He's not like us.
No, exactly. The 1-0 pitch fouled off by Patrick Bailey, the left-handed hitting catcher, even in the count now against Gausman with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
And you've never had a mustache?
Nope.
Even though you have an incredibly thick mustache?
I have never got, because I'll tell you why, I have no chin.
Oh.
I need the beard.
Well, there you go.
Or I've got my kid, I don't know if he's listening, he'll probably be rolling over if I say this right now. I got to start mewing like the kids are doing now. You know what that is?
No.
Mewing, not mooing, but mewing. Look it up. If there's any Gen Zers or whatever listening right now, Uncle Eric knows what he's talking about. The 2-1 pitch, and it's ripped up the middle on a base hit, and the Giants will try and start getting a rally going with 2 down.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's where you chew the rubber thing, right?
No.
Oh, it's not?
You literally stick out your chin and you stretch your face out. And it's like you're doing facial stretches and trying to get your muscles to activate. I think it's all bogus and BS, but kids these days, I'm telling you, you see these fish faces and weird looks on their face. It's because they're mewing in their pictures.
You don't need to do that.
No, I just keep a beard.
Yeah, just keep the beard.
My chin is my beard. Elliot Ramos steps up to the plate, takes the first pitch for a ball. It's a fastball clocked at 95, but it was down low in a 1-0 count. Ramos had a 2-run shot in the first inning, and those are the 2 runs that are on the board for the Giants. They trail Toronto, though, 3-2 here in the bottom of the third. The 1-0 pitch down Main Street, and Ramos immediately kind of shook his head and dipped his chin in frustration.
Well, yeah, he definitely wasn't expecting that fastball right down the middle. Kind of muttering under his breath there. He knows he missed one.
The 1-1 pitch outside. The slider. Jansen did a nice job of getting to that one. It's now 2-1. With Bailey sitting at first, he had the base hit moments ago. San Francisco trailing Toronto by 1. We're just shy of an hour into this ball game. Here in the bottom of the third, and Gausman throws over to first base, trying to keep Bailey honest as Bailey scrambles back to the bag. There in plenty of time, didn't need to dive or anything. Gausman gets set, stares down Jansen, gets the sign and the pitch, and Ramos sends it into center, and it's going to be straight into the glove of Kevin Kiermaier. He got a great jump on it and came in to make the grab and sits down the Giants as they head now to the fourth inning, still trailing Toronto on top 3-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The final major championship of 2024 is coming, and you can hear all the action on SiriusXM.
Up toward the hole, has a chance, and it goes! Rory McIlroy with an overhand fist bump!
Coverage of the 152nd Open Championship begins Monday, July 15th, with play-by-play beginning Thursday, July 18th on Open Radio.
He's holding the big one! Brian Harman is the champion golfer of the year!
Hear the 2024 Open Championship on Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
1:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Great American Getaway 400, presented by VisitPA.com.
from Pocono Raceway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer! Yes!
The final major championship of 2024 is coming, and you can hear all the action on SiriusXM.
Up toward the hole, has a chance, and it goes! Rory McIlroy with an overhand fist bump!
Coverage of the 152nd Open Championship begins Monday, July 15th, with play-by-play beginning Thursday, July 18th on Open Radio.
He's holding the big one! Brian Harman is the champion golfer of the year!
Hear the 2024 Open Championship on Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
What's next?
Top of the fourth inning. Fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. First pitch catches the upper part of the zone from Hicks to Jansen, and Danny Jansen down 0-1 in the count. Jansen with a solo shot in his first at-bat that extended the Blue Jay lead to 3-0 at the time. It's now 3-2. Hicks, leg kick, delivery, and that one catching the outside edge. It's now 0-2.
And again, that fastball that Hicks just threw is 90 miles an hour. This is a guy that's thrown 103 miles an hour in his career.
The 0-2 pitch, and it's dribbled down the third base line into foul territory, picked up by Chapman, and he will toss it over to the stands to give somebody a souvenir, and Jansen will have to dig in again, down 0-2.
And like I talked about before the broadcast, he's starting his 19th game of the season. Last year he threw 65 games, 0 starts, so he's got to be tired right now.
The 0-2 pitch, high, out of the zone. That fastball clocked at 92. It's now 1-2. Well, and as we noted, he has struggled since starting hot. The last 10, 11 ball games, he's fallen down to earth. You wonder if the Giants might consider putting him back in the pen and taking him out of the starting lineup, or out of the starter's role, excuse me.
Well, Jordan Hicks probably wouldn't want that. He's a guy that's really wanted to start over the majority of his career. He's been very vocal about that. He doesn't. I mean, I don't know if he dislikes the bullpen. He's just always wanted to start, and to have that opportunity taken away probably wouldn't be something that he would want to do.
The 1-2 pitch is fouled up high into the sunshine. Matt Chapman, shading his eyes with his hand, makes the grab at third base, and there's one down. Ernie Clement now getting set to come to the plate. Walked in his first at bat, and again has had 3-run shots in each of the first 2 games of this series. Danny Jansen, who just popped out moments ago, had a home run in the first inning. So the baseball has been leaving the park over this entire series for Blue Jay hitters. The 0-1 pitch to Clement. He sends it down the third base side foul. It ricochets off the tarp back into the field of play, picked up by the ball boy, who hands it off to a fan, gives a little souvenir to a young fan out there. And now Clement down 0-2. The rubber match of this series, with the Blue Jays hoping to pick up a win before heading to Arizona. And the 0-2 pitch way outside on a sweeper down in the dirt. It's 1-2. Davis Schneider standing on deck for Toronto. Kevin Kiermaier in the hole. The 1-2 pitch. And Clement sends it to second base on a couple of bounces, picked up by Estrada, over to Flores at first, and there's 2 down.
And like I said last inning, although the velo is down, that fastball is actually 94. That's not a terrible velo for Jordan Hicks, but although the velo is down a little bit, that fastball is really moving through the zone. A lot of run, a lot of horizontal run specifically, and that's why you're getting those weak ground balls from the Blue Jays offense right now.
So 2 down now as Jordan Hicks delivers to Schneider. First pitch way outside, missing on the sinker. And a 1-0 count. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and more, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. The 1-0 pitch outside and low. It's now 2-0. And as we look at the out-of-town scoreboard, we're telling you more about some games that are coming up. The Dodgers and the Phillies at 6:05. 6:35 start between the Cubs and Orioles. 6:50. It's the Yankees in Tampa to face the Rays.
And you're going to say nothing about Paul Skeens.
I was waiting for you. Because I knew I saw you hovering over the keyboard, because we do have 4 games that have gone final, but one especially that we wanted to take note of. And we'll give it to you right now after the base hit into left center for Davis Schneider.
Well, if you haven't heard, Paul Skeens is now 6-0 with a 1.90 ERA. He threw 7 hitless innings today, striking out 11, only walking 1. And the reason why he came out of that ball game is because he threw 99 pitches. Of course, you don't want to push him, especially a guy like Paul Skeens, but he's been incredible. Does he start the All-Star game?
I can't imagine he wouldn't.
Who else? Start the game?
Who else?
I think he's only started 11 games.
But he's been a monster.
Yeah.
By the way, in spite of his masterful performance, I shouldn't say in spite of, maybe despite the performance, they only managed to win 1-0. Hey, a win is win, though. Take the W any way you can get it. The 1-0 pitch to Kevin Kiermaier down in the dirt. It's now 2-0. And as we finish off that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Mets beat the Nationals 7-0. Detroit blows out Cleveland 10-1. And Cincinnati blows out Colorado 8-1. Blue Jays up 3-2 top 4. And Kiermaier just fouled one off down into the left field corner. It's now 2-1.
You know who can talk about whether Paul Skeens is going to start the All-Star game or not? The show.
Yeah, it's not the late show today, right?
It's the medium show.
Just the show. But actually, we'll hear from Show in game when we go to Baseball Control. But on Jays Talk today, it's Blair and Barker.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And Kiermaier just slapped a base hit into left field, going opposite field. The Blue Jays trying to put together a little rally here with 2 out.
And that was almost the exact same base hit that he got earlier on in this ball game. His second base hit of the game. Brett Wisely was again shaded towards second base, the Giants shortstop. And Kevin Kiermaier just shoots that big hole on the left side of the infield. You can see Jordan Hicks saying second time with his palms up to the air. Doesn't love that shift that the Giants are putting on right there.
So 2 down, but the Jays trying to make some noise with 2 on as Schneider's at second, Kiermaier at first, and the youngster Leo Jimenez steps up for the Jays. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue in the Timbermark broadcast booth on a Thursday afternoon. Blue Jays leading the Giants 3-2, top 4.
I guess work from Oracle doesn't have the same ring to it.
Off the top of my head, I can't come up with a rhyme. But no, work from Oracle doesn't sound the same.
Take a second, Jordan. Come on, tighten up, son. You got him. You got him.
And thanks again to our field side reporter, the motivational speaker, Matt Foley. The 3-2 lead for the Jays, and the 1-0 pitch is outside and low, and a 2-0 count. It was Matt Foley, right? In a van down by the river? That was Matt Foley. Chris Farley?
No.
Yes. Jimenez with the 2-0 count. Saw the next pitch come in for a strike on a sinker as it came across the zone, and it's good for that strike. It's now 2-1. Hicks looks in at his catcher, Patrick Bailey, gets the sign, nods his head, takes deep breath, and delivers that one low. Again, a sinker clocked at 95 and a 3-1 count, with the top of the order coming up next for the Jays. George Springer on deck. Jimenez stares down Hicks with the 3-1 count. The pitch. Outside, but called a strike. This crew, the entire series, has been questionable at best with their zones.
But they have been consistent.
Consistently questionable, you're right. The 3-2 pitch down Main Street, sent up the middle, and take that. It's an RBI single for Leo Jimenez, and the Blue Jays lead 4-2.
And Leo Jimenez continues to impress. Every single one of his at-bats has been a strong AB, taking tough pitches, swinging at pitches that he knows he can drive, and not really trying to do too much. That fastball right there from Jordan Hicks was right down the middle, and Jimenez just hits it right back up the middle.
So Schneider goes from second to home to score. Kiermaier goes from first to third, and it's now runners on the corners for George Springer. With 2 down, the Blue Jays have done all this damage. Danny Jansen popped out to third to start the inning. Then Clement grounded out to second. It was then a base hit for Schneider, a base hit for Kiermaier, and a base hit for Leo Jimenez just moments ago. And pitching coach Brian Price for the Giants now out on the mound with the entire San Fran infield. A few words of encouragement for Hicks, and then a slap on the backside as everybody heads back to their spots, and we now get set for Hicks versus Springer. This will be the 3rd time for Springer seeing Hicks in just the 4th inning.
Well, this is a big AB right here. It's a 4-2 ball game. That run standing on third base is a big, big deal, especially with 2 outs. Coming through with a big hit here with 2 outs is a big thing for George Springer and this Toronto Blue Jays team.
Hicks steps back onto the rubber. Springer already set in the box. The pitch. Big cut from Springer, and he missed badly on a sweeper way outside, and an 0-1 count. Randy Rodriguez, the right-hander, warming up in the bullpen for the Giants. The 0-1 pitch. Another one way outside, another sweeper. This time George laid off. It's 1-1. Kiermaier at third. Jimenez at first. Hicks with the pitch, and it catches the outside edge. Nice looking sinker there, and a 1-2 count. Jimenez with the lead at first. He takes off. The 1-2 pitch, and Springer swings at it, fouls it off, and will do it again at 1-2.
I like that idea right there, sending Leo Jimenez. If George Springer puts something in a gap or down the lines, Leo Jimenez can score from first base. George Springer right there fouling off a tough sweeper from Jordan Hicks on the outside part of the plate.
Hicks looking over at first. And now he throws over to first as Jimenez scatters back over. Didn't have to slide. Got there in plenty of time.
I would imagine that they send Jimenez again. And if I was John Schneider, I probably would.
And remember that Kiermaier is at third. 2 out. Jimenez did not take off. Springer grounds it to short. And picking it up and whipping it over to first base wisely to Flores. They get the out to sit down the Jays. But Toronto does get one back. And now the lead extends to 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you from the Timber Mart broadcast booth in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Blue Jays leading the Giants 4-2. Kevin Gausman facing Michael Conforto, the left-handed hitting left fielder. Takes the first pitch. It's a ball. As Gausman missed with the fastball, it's 1-0. Conforto grounding it to first. Back in the first. And he fouls off the next pitch. Straight back. It's 1-1. Gausman was handed a 3-zip lead as Toronto got 3 in the first inning. He gave 2 of them back on a 2-run shot to Elliot Ramos in the bottom of the first. But then was able to sit down and shut down the San Francisco batters in both the second and the third. And now he was just given one more run with the Blue Jays scoring in the top of the fourth to extend the lead to 4-2.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman settled in pretty nicely after giving up that 2-run homer to Ramos. Really locating that fastball a little bit better. We've heard him talk about, and John Schneider as well, talk about locating that fastball at the top of the zone. And he's doing that just a little bit better as the game goes on.
The 1-2 pitch. And Conforto grounds it down to Vladdy at first. Looked like he was maybe going to toss it to Gausman and then just decided to keep himself. Trots over, steps on the bag, and there's one down.
That would have been a silly play to throw that ball to Gausman. Gausman was ready for it, but all Guerrero had to do was take a few steps and step on that bag, and they got Conforto at first base.
So now one down as Matt Chapman steps up. Chapman, a Gold Glove winner at third base in 2023 for the Jays. And there was some chatter about him potentially coming back this year, but it ultimately didn't come to fruition, and he signed a deal with the Giants.
Do you know who the only other guy to win a Gold Glove is at third base for the Blue Jays?
I think I could come up with it. And quite honestly, we'll take folks behind the scenes. As Chapman sends it into center, diving head first and making the grab is Kevin Kiermaier. Sprawled out head first. He ate grass and made the grab.
He turned over on his back and rested for a split second with that glove up in the air, showing everybody that he in fact caught that baseball. That's an incredible catch. Diving straight forward is really hard to do, and Kevin Kiermaier did that right there. Yeah, he didn't trap that baseball. We're getting a slow motion replay. That's a clean catch. That's a great play right there.
And I'll tell you what, extra marks for the fact that he slid about another 3 feet afterwards. Next up, and ultimately safe at first, we were still going over the Kiermaier catch. And Yastrzemski said, hold on a second, as he dribbled one toward first base, but kind of in no man's land. And Vladdy picked it up but couldn't do much with it. He was trying to decide, is he going to toss it to Chapman? Is he going to be able to get back to the bag? He tried to stretch out and tag Yastrzemski and unable to do so. So Yastrzemski is on first now with 2 out.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to take a look at this. We just got that slow motion replay. It didn't look like Vlad touched Yastrzemski, but that was you said it. That was kind of that in-between play. Couldn't underhand it to Gausman. Couldn't really get Yastrzemski reaching for that bag at first base. He got that infield single. That's a tough play right there. Tough single if you're Kevin Gausman.
So we were mentioning moments ago, after Chapman ultimately flew out to center on that beautiful catch from Kiermaier, the only other third baseman to win a gold glove for the Blue Jays. I was going to say we'll take you behind the curtain and let you know. They did flash the graphic up on our screen, but I swear to you, I would not lie to you, Chris. I would have got it.
You're lying to me right now.
I would have got it. I'll tell you why. Because I had this dude's jersey when I was a kid.
Oh, all right. So
Kelly
now
Gruber.
I believe you, though.
Kelly Gruber. And lining out straight at Jimenez is Wilmer Flores. Jimenez literally didn't have to move. Straight into his glove. And the third out for the Giants. So San Fran still trails 4-2 as we head to the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Some days, you're the main character. I'm so Julia. Other days, you're the villain. The voice is mine. The Pop-Off, a channel of nothing but fierce ladies representing the next wave of pop stardom. Tyla, Chaperone, Sabrina Carpenter, and more. Plus exclusive songs and stories from Ray, featured all week long. The Pop-Off, on now. For a limited time on Channel 105 or listen anytime on the SiriusXM app.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Joe Torre.
I think it's more than you played baseball or managed baseball. You lived baseball, and that's been my life.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcast.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
And it's gone!
Jays fans, this is John Schneider, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
There's the exclamation point for all assembled here at Rogers Center.
Radio Network.
The fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca.
Well, I like it. Real smooth on that one. Like it. Good Spark Grants and Spencer Horwitz.ca. Not SpencerHorwitz.ca, although it might exist. Fire up the keyboard and check that one out right now, folks. Horwitz is trying to check this one out of the ballpark, and it will. It's deep and gone, and it takes a bounce off the concrete and into the water. The kayaks are scrambling as Spencer Horwitz has put the Blue Jays up 5-2.
Well, that was a sweeper down and in, and Spencer Horwitz, as we were talking about his new website, just golfs that thing out of here. Kind of took a couple bounces and bounced over the railing into the water. He gets that home run jacket on, big smile on his face, and the Blue Jays lead 5-2.
So the second home run, the second solo shot of the day for the Blue Jays, gives them that 3-run lead, and it reestablishes the 3-run lead that they had earlier in the game. They were up 3-0. The Giants cut it to 3-2. Toronto went up 4-2, now 5-2. As Vladimir Guerrero steps up, takes a strike. First pitch was a sinker, good for that strike. It's 0-1. Second pitch, low, outside, but called a strike, and now 0-2. Again, home plate umpire Bill Miller, along with the rest of his crew, has had a very generous, let's just say, zone on both sides. It's been generous on both sides.
He's been consistently generous.
Yes.
There you go.
That's a good way of putting it. Vladdy slaps at the third pitch, sends it foul down the third base side. We'll do it again at 0-2. Guerrero flew out to center in his last at bat. He's 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Does have an RBI.
I don't know if that home run counts as hitting it into the water. It bounced about 3 or 4 times on the concourse before it got into the water, but Spencer Horwitz will take it.
Yeah, it wasn't clean into the water, but it got wet. Swing and a miss. Vladdy sits down. He chased one. The sweeper outside, and Vladdy went after it. There's one down. It's the first strikeout of the game for Jordan Hicks, as guess who comes up? You can hear it in the background. The Boo Birds rolling for Justin Turner. He also flew out to center field in his last at bat. Big swing and a miss on the sweeper. That first pitch from Hicks. 0-1 count to Turner.
And I guess that does count as hitting into the water, because at Oracle Park in San Francisco, they have a splash hits counter.
Well, speaking of getting hit, not hitting water, but hitting flesh, Hicks just threw it at Turner, and Turner turned and took one, I believe, kind of toward the kidneys. And he's going to walk down to first. He'll be feeling that one. Sporting a nice bruise for the All-Star break.
And they added a splash to the count, so it's now at 103.
Now, if you were the folks at the Giants at Oracle, would you be counting splashes for opposing teams?
I just thought that. I looked it up. It's everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
No.
So Turner takes the trot down to first, and he seems no worse for the wear. But as he stands at first, the Giants are going to make a pitching change. So that gives us a chance to bring in the late show, the early show. The host at Baseball Central, Baseball Control, here is Joel Lee.
Thank you very much, Eric. Welcome back inside Baseball Control, everyone. Don't forget, before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, we do have J-Stock today. Blair and Barker are standing by. They have the post-game show this afternoon. Jeff will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Let's check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Lots of soccer to come this weekend, including at the Euros, where England got a very late goal from Ollie Watkins to beat the Netherlands 2-1 yesterday. They will play Spain in the final on Sunday afternoon, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. Spain aiming for their record 4th European Championship. England, meanwhile, has never won the tournament. Their only major piece of silverware coming from the 1966 World Cup. Over on our side of the Atlantic, the last 2 matches for the Copa America are set as well. The third place game will feature Canada. They'll take on Uruguay. That will be Saturday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The Copa America final will go Sunday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific in Miami. That'll feature Argentina versus Colombia. Some news out of Toronto. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment announcing this morning that the president of both Toronto FC and the Toronto Argonauts, Bill Manning, has been relieved of his duties effective immediately. MLSE citing a new direction being required going forward as a part of the transition. TFC General Manager Jason Hernandez and Argos GM Pinball Clemens will both report directly to freshly minted MLSE President and CEO Keith Pelly. And speaking of the Argos, they are in action tonight. They kick off Week 6 In the CFL, they take on the Alouettes in Montreal at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action. Here's Eric and Chris.
All right, thanks very much, Show. Randy Rodriguez on the mound for the Giants. First pitch to Danny Jansen is high and inside. It's 1-0. A solo shot back in the first inning for Jansen. He is a part of this 5-2 Toronto lead here in the fifth inning. The next pitch coming in on the inside edge. The slider was good for a strike. It's now 1-1. The 1-1 pitch outside. Nice job there by Jansen to hold off, with Justin Turner standing at first as he was hit by a pitch moments ago, which led to Jordan Hicks coming out of the ball game and Rodriguez coming in. And Jansen just got underneath one, popped one up into left center. Getting underneath it, making the grab with ease is Elliot Ramos, and there's 2 down. So that brings up Ernie Clement, who will try to keep this inning going again with a man on first, Justin Turner. Blue Jays got a solo shot from Spencer Horwitz to start this inning. Vladdy then struck out. Turner hit by a pitch, and then the flyout moments ago from Danny Jansen. The first pitch to Clement came inside, and he tried to turn on it quickly, but sends it down into the left field corner into the stands. It's an 0-1 count.
He's shown a little bit of juice in this series.
Yeah.
You got that one right there. Hit it way foul, but you got the barrel to it. That probably would have been a home run if it was fair.
The 0-1 pitch. And this time he slaps it to right field, going opposite field, but easily there to make the grab is Yastrzemski to sit down the Jays. But they again score one more on the solo shot for Spencer Horwitz. Toronto leads 5-2 going to the bottom of the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power. That is bold. And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
You got it. Wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on with a doubleheader in Iowa. Saturday night under the lights at 8 Eastern and Sunday at noon.
Nice job. Nice job.
From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou. Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90
Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you. Bottom of the fifth inning, and the Blue Jays leading 5-2. Toronto sending Kevin Gausman back out on the mound. He has settled in after a bit of a shaky start, but slow start. He gave up 2 in the first inning on a 2-run shot to Elliot Ramos, and he has settled in certainly since then. And he just threw pitch number 56, so not a high pitch count by any means. Here in the bottom of the fifth with a 3-run lead. Teiro Estrada leading things off for the Giants. He just tried to turn on one, sends it down into the left field corner, right in front of the wall, though, and making the grab is Davis Schneider. There's 1 down.
This injury report is brought to you by Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pereira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca.
You want me to give you some stuff?
That's bplawyers.ca.
Thank you, bplawyers.ca. This brings up Brett Wisely, the lefty, and he sends one out to shallow right field. Camping underneath it, George Springer, fighting the sun, makes the grab, and there's 2 down.
Well, you talked about Bo Bichette and Dalton Varsho. That's really all I have on the injury report. Do you have anything new?
No, I'm feeling good. How about you?
How much time you got?
You're grinding a little bit today? Dalton Varsho with the bruised knee was in the hitting cage before the ball game. He could be available, possibly, if needed today. Bichette with a calf fascia strain, not playing today, didn't start, won't play at all, and asked about the potential of him making an IL stint with the All-Star break coming. John Schneider said that they will see, the Jays will see how Bo feels tomorrow and then make a decision if they need to get somebody out to Arizona or not.
Well, it's a good thing that Leo Jimenez is as good as he is right now. That's for sure.
First pitch, no good for a ball. Second one, also a ball. It's a fastball outside in the dirt, in fact, to Jorge Soler, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is fouled off by Soler straight down into his foot, but it must have caught more of the sole of the foot and not his actual foot, because he's hobbling, but not badly, as he steps out of the box and gets set to step back in to face the 2-1 from Gausman.
How good has Leo Jimenez been? Is that what you just asked me?
Yes, how good?
Well, the 23-year-old Panamanian is 5 for his first 12. And he just got his first big league RBI earlier on in this ballgame.
Yeah, did we fail to mention that? We might have. Or I guess I did. I won't drag you under the bus with me. But yes, indeed, his first career RBI in this ballgame. So a historic day for the youngster. And I'd say 5 for 12 is pretty darn good. I'll tell you, you talked about me earlier in the game being an optimist. And my wife was listening. She'd absolutely vehemently disagree with you. But when you start thinking about the future, the 2-2 pitch to Soler, they look down to first, and Alex Mackey says, no, that was clean. It's all good. It's now 3-2. You start thinking about the future, and I'm still including, as you were talking about in the pregame show, a young Vladimir Guerrero, other young pieces that we could discuss. But how about Spencer Horwitz and Leo Jimenez? Just those two alone. They've shown some great signs. Soler just turned on the 3-2 pitch, sends it out to left field. It's off the wall, but played perfectly by Davis Schneider as he catches it off one bounce, quickly gets it back into the infield, and that holds Soler at first. That is some great fielding by Davis Schneider.
Yeah, Jorge Soler missed a home run by about 3 or 4 feet. He hit that baseball about midway up that left field wall, but Davis Schneider plays that ball perfectly off the wall, throwing a strike. Well, not really a strike. He missed second base, but holding Jorge Soler to just a single, a long single.
It brings up Patrick Bailey. Batting from the left side. He's a switch hitter. The catcher takes the first pitch outside. Fastball from Gausman, no good. And a 1-0 count. Bailey hitting .287 on the season, and that average has ballooned during this game as he is 2 for 2 in the ballgame. Just fouled off pitch number 2, and it's a 1-1 count. Sent it down the third base side into the stands. Bailey with a run scored in this ballgame as well. He came in on the 2-run shot from Elliot Ramos, who is standing on deck. Kevin Gausman stepping onto the rubber, gets the sign from Jansen. He's thrown 66 pitches and counting. 2 out, the 1-1 delivery. And another one fouled off by Bailey. It's 1-2. The wind seems to be picking up a little bit more in San Fran. It's always breezy in the Bay Area. Right on the ocean. Gausman with the 1-2 pitch. Down in the dirt. Nice block by Jansen. As our courtside field reporter said there was 0 on the clock. They wanted a violation against Gausman.
I tell you what, he's on top of things. If we're ever questioning
he has no friends
ourselves,
to talk to, so we might as well just be paying attention to everything else.
Well, we're not sure.
Oh, wait, he might have a friend. There's a conversation going on now. It's like we've got a 4-man booth now.
All I knew is that there was 5 seconds, then 4 seconds, then 3 seconds left on that pitch clock.
I felt like I was calling a basketball broadcast again, waiting for the shot clock to come down. Now we're getting the pinch clock. 5-2, Blue Jays leading. 2-2 count, the pitch. And it's sent to center field. It's given a ride, but it's going to stay in the park. Making the grab on the track is Kevin Kiermaier, and the Giants are retired. On to the 6th we go. Blue Jays leading 5-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Carnival is at the core of Toronto culture. Stand out in the crowd with your Blue Jays neon hat giveaway. The colors, the music, the heat, the vibes.
I don't know who's having more fun, the players or the fans.
Be at Rogers Center as the Blue Jays celebrate Caribbean Carnival and create core memories of summer in the city.
Everybody's feeling good right now.
Arrive early on Friday, July 26th and claim your Blue Jays neon hat. Blue Jays Caribbean Carnival. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at Desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He dived, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins is a big fan of small biz, and that's why they've awarded another $3 million to small business owners across the country. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. Again, that's goodsparkgrants.ca. Davis Schneider stepping into the box for the first pitch of this 6th inning, and it's high. Missing on a fastball is Randy Rodriguez, a 1-0 count to Schneider. Pitch number 2 fouled off by Davis down the right field side. It's now 1-1. Blue Jays leading 5-2. We're about 90 minutes into this ball game, give or take. And that one down Main Street, bottom part of the zone, but it certainly looked like it caught that bottom edge on a fastball clocked at 98. And a 1-2 count.
Yeah, Rodriguez has some serious juice in that right arm. 98 to 99 miles an hour with that fastball.
And Schneider just struck out on a fastball at 99. 1 down.
Well, that's exactly where they were trying to go. I think the scouting report is out on Davis Schneider at this point. Elevated heaters at 97, 98, 99. He's probably going to swing through those pitches, and he does right there.
Kevin Kiermaier steps in, 2 for 2 on the day. A couple of singles to left field and a big swing and a miss. How about that? He got Schneider at 99, then comes back with a pitch 14 miles an hour slower as Kiermaier swings through the slider. It's an 0-1 count. Kiermaier digs in and dribbles this one down to first. Picked up by Flores, bobbled it, but recovered, and then kind of did an electric slide over to first. and able to touch his foot to the bag before Kiermaier got there. He was real casual with that thing and then almost too casual.
Yeah, I was going to say he looked a little bit nonchalant trying to field that baseball. I'm sure if you're Randy Rodriguez, you're probably questioning the effort level on that ground ball there by Wilmer Flores, but luckily for the Giants, he gets the out.
So there's 2 down now as it brings up the number 9 hitter for the Blue Jays, Leo Jimenez, with his first career RBI in his last at-bat. First pitch was a strike. Second pitch just missing outside on a 4-seam fastball. It's now 1-1. Jimenez 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Outside, clocked at 98, 2-1. Rodriguez continues to throw the heat. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss on a slider at 83, and now 2-2. 3 against Arizona coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday before the All-Star break. And you've got the home run derby on Monday and the game itself on Tuesday. Rodriguez tried to drop in another slider, but it was down below the zone, a little bit inside as well, and now a full count to Jimenez. The pitch, swing and a miss. He chased it outside, and the Blue Jays sit down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Toronto still leading 5-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
Way back and gone. That's a home run for Ohtani.
SiriusXM brings you MLB All-Star Week.
Aaron Judge, 2-run homer.
MLB Network Radio will be covering all the bases, from the MLB Draft to on-site coverage of the Home Run Derby and a 94th All-Star Game.
This is Mookie Betts. I'm Adley Rashford.
Hear from baseball's best during All-Star Week.
Coverage begins Sunday night at 6 Eastern
on SiriusXM Channel 89 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 6th. And Elliot Ramos, the first batter of the inning, he's got a 2-run shot in this game, came back in the first inning. He'll try and get things going for the Giants here in the bottom half of the frame with his team trailing 5-2, the Blue Jays lead. First pitch from Gausman, down low and inside, a 1-0 count. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Jays trying to go back-to-back with victories before they head off to Arizona. Now 2-0 as Gausman misses again, that one on a fastball outside and low, clocked at 93.
Eric, I was going to ask you this last inning when you were mentioning the schedule for the All-Star game. Are you a guy that looks forward to All-Star festivities in any sport?
I think so, yeah. Certainly more when I was a kid. I think that All-Star games in general, and I don't mean this in a bad way, are geared towards, and they probably should be geared towards, younger fans. Mm-hmm.
You got it, Elliot. You got it.
I think the home run derby is fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I will love, and it's a minor detail, I love the fact the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, it's 2-2, as Gausman got Ramos to bite hard on that slider. I love that in baseball, you've got teams wearing their actual team uniforms in the game. I wish the NBA would go back to that. I'd like to see hockey go back to that. I like seeing players representing their teams and not with goofy jerseys, National League, American League, East, West, whatever it is, just trying to make more money. Gausman just came inside with the pitch, and it went off the handle of the bat, came real close to hitting the hands of Ramos. So it's officially a foul ball, and we'll do it again at 2-2. In fact, that might have hit the nub of the bat as Ramos pulled back, and it hit that very bottom under his left hand.
So needless to say, you are quite passionate about All-Star festivities.
Yeah, I like them.
At least in your earlier years.
Yeah. 3-point shootout in basketball. Like hardest shot or fastest skater in hockey, that type of stuff. And baseball, I think it's not splitting the atom here. I'm not the first one to say this. Baseball is the one sport that still seems like they actually try and play a, quote, real game.
Mm-hmm.
It gets out of hand in basketball and hockey, and certainly we can't even talk about football. Swing and a miss. Ramos sits down as Gausman picks up the strikeout, and a big job there to sit down the first batter of the inning.
You know what I think is the most important thing, though, and it might get overlooked, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just saying that, is the people that are participating either in the three-point competition, the slam dunk competition, and the home run derby. I think that's really, really important.
I agree with you. It's got to be big names.
Yeah, it has to be.
In general, in basketball, they get pretty decent names for the three-point shootout. It's really kind of dropped off a lot with the dunk contest. Hockey, they seem to get all the big names.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the home run derby was Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper? Everybody would be locked in.
Absolutely. Trying to sell your game, and again, especially to the young fans, that's how you grow the game.
I want to see Giancarlo Stanton in a home run derby.
2-0 pitch to Conforto, down low, and quickly now 3-0. So Gausman may be showing some signs of fatigue here in this sixth inning, as the next pitch in will be number 80. He just sat down Ramos with a strikeout to start the inning, but you certainly don't want to put Michael Conforto on base with Chapman up next. Fastball down Main Street. Conforto was taking the whole way. It's now 3-1. The left-handed hitting left fielder for the Giants has yet to get on in this ball game. He's 0 for 2. Chapman up next, 0 for 2 as well. The 3-1 pitch catches the outside edge. Conforto wanted to get ready to walk down to first. He was ready to drop his bat. But Bill Miller, the home plate umpire, says, nope, that's a strike, and it's now a full count.
Yeah, our friends behind home plate didn't like that call. I didn't really like that call either. I think Kevin Gausman was given a bit of a gift right there.
Gausman looks in at the sign from Jansen. The 3-2 pitch. Inside edge for a strike. Caught looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gausman. There's 2 down.
Well, Michael Conforto didn't like that call, but that one was right on the corner of the black inside, 95 miles an hour. You could see Danny Jansen framing that pitch perfectly, bringing it back an inch or two, making it look even better. But that was a great pitch on the inside part.
So Matt Chapman steps in 0 for 2 today. The average has dipped down below 240 at 239 to be exact. And he sends the first pitch into left field on a line drive base hit. Schneider had to scramble in a hurry to pick that one up. Chapman held at first. And now the Giants try to get something going with 2 down.
I don't mind that right there. You get 2 outs, trying to sneak in a strike. Although that pitch was off the plate inside, Matt Chapman brings the hands through, kind of gets it through that hole in the left side. Didn't really hit it all that hard. I think he got jammed, but I would much rather that than just than nibble and potentially walk a guy with 2 outs.
So this brings up Mike Yastrzemski, the left-handed hitting right fielder, with a man on, 2 down. First pitch, outside edge. They give Gausman the strike again. It looked like it wasn't there, but take it and run if you're a Blue Jay fan. An 0-1 count to Yastrzemski.
It's a bad call right there.
1 for 2 in the ball game, Yastrzemski. The pitch from Gausman. Outside, that one's a ball. It's now 1-1. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. Again, Pittsburgh winning 1-0 over Milwaukee. 7-zip. Mets take care of the Nationals. 10-1 Detroit over Cleveland. 8-1 Cincy over Colorado. And right now, It's the Jays leading the Giants 5-2. Later on, Baltimore atop the AL East at home against the Cubs. New York on the road. The Yankees getting set for the Rays. Those games both starting at 6:30 and 6:50 respectively. And if we want to finish off the East, Boston at home hosting Oakland at 7:10.
6:50 sounds like an odd start time, doesn't it?
Very weird. A lot of weird things in Tampa. Gausman throwing over to first, trying to keep Chapman honest as Matt Chapman dives back into the bag. Yastrzemski down on the count, 1-2. This will be pitch 87 for Gausman coming right here with 2 out in the bottom of the 6th. The leg kick and the delivery high. Chapman took off for second, and he slides in safely well ahead of the throw and tag.
Well, that was almost a pitch out. Not intended to be a pitch out, but it was a fastball up and away. Danny Jansen had a perfect opportunity to throw out Chapman at second base, but he throws that throw down to second on the shortstop side of the bag, and Leo Jimenez has no chance to tag out Chapman.
How about the 9th stolen base of the season for Matt Chapman?
A little bit surprising when I saw that.
Yeah.
You don't think he's a guy that's a burner, but apparently he's just a good base runner.
And again, the countdown was on from our fans sitting by the microphone, but it didn't matter. Gausman got it off and got Yastrzemski to fly out to left field, and that will do it for the Giants. So no rally, no runs, and the Blue Jays still leading 5-2 as we go to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're twomenintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day, Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
So, you want to be a loony dogger, eh? Are you the relish ringleader, 7th inning snacker, TikTok topper, or ketchup king? Every Tuesday, Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the home run hound or value virtuoso, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He makes the catch, and the Blue Jays win the ball game.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you, getting set to start the 7th inning. And it will be the top of the order for the Blue Jays. George Springer getting set for his 4th at-bat of this ball game. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Blue Jays leading 5-2. Randy Rodriguez still on the mound for the Giants, and he comes inside with a fastball. And a 1-0 count to Springer. George batting .222 on the season. Second pitch way low, and they call it a strike. That's brutal. Wow. That wasn't even close. The 1-1 pitch. Almost in the same spot, but it caught a little bit of dirt, and it's now 2-1.
It almost looked like John Schneider was so baffled by that call that he couldn't say anything. He couldn't get the words out of his mouth. He wanted to say something, though.
And now Springer punches one off the handle foul. It's 2-2. It's the top of the 7th with the Blue Jays leading by 3. Springer slapping another one foul up and over the Blue Jay dugout on that first base side. Friday, July 26th marks the return of Blue Jays Caribbean Carnival to Rogers Center, Caribana. Kickoff, Toronto, Caribana. Festivities with dancing, music, and entertainment. Get your tickets by heading to bluejays.com/carnival. Again, officially, I got to say it. It's the Toronto Caribbean Carnival, Caribana.
I've learned that you're passionate about two things: All-Star festivities and Caribana.
Yeah, it's a party. If you're out in Saskatoon or Trois-Rivières, come to Toronto for Caribana. Popping it up to the infield, all four infielders converge, and then finally, Brett Wisely, the shortstop behind the mound, says, "Dudes, I've got it." He makes the grab, sits down Springer on an infield pop-out. There's one down. Brings up Spencer Horwitz, who had a solo shot to right field in his last at-bat, and it ultimately got wet. It did take a bounce, but it still counts as it made it to the water. And this time he tried to go opposite field, but it goes off the handle and right into the hands, into the glove of Matt Chapman at third, and there's quickly two down.
That last home run from Spencer Horwitz, the exit velocity was 102.1. Do you know what the average Major League home run is in terms of exit velocity?
I'm going to tell you, I don't. And, folks, I'm not seeing it on any screen, so I'm not cheating. So I'm going to say the average, I'm going to think, is in three figures. I'm going to say an even, no, not an even 100. 100.1.
104.3.
Oh. You sound like radio stations. 102.1, 104.3.
They probably are.
Playing your top 40 hits from yesterday and today, 104.3.
You missed your calling.
Yeah. I should have worked in radio. Oh, wait. Maybe on the FM dial. Coming up next. Well, coming up next, it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And as we talk about exit velo, he's suddenly quickly down 0-2 as the fastball just came in on a second strike. Rodriguez working quickly, comes back again with a fastball, clocked at 99. This one fouled off by Vladdy. And I can only assume from the cheers that somebody made a nice grab in the stands. Guerrero, an 0-for-3 afternoon, but his team leading 5-2, top 7. Rodriguez with the pitch outside. Vladdy didn't even offer at it. It's now 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Big cut from Vladdy. And he sits down, as do the Jays. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Toronto still up 5-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball. Brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is the beginning of a new era.
City TV has the smoldering new season of The Bachelorette.
This is the moment.
Jen Tran is ready for love. And this time, the power is in her hands.
I feel more confident than ever.
Watch the roses fly and the petals fall.
I feel like the main character in my own love story. I've got the power.
The Bachelorette, all new Mondays 8, 7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy with a huge stretch for the double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you. We are in the Timber Mart broadcast booth in the bottom of the 7th inning as the Blue Jays lead the Giants 5-2. Toronto with 8 hits on the afternoon. The Giants with 6. Wilmer Flores, 0 for 2. The number 7 hitter in the San Fran lineup, getting set to start off this 7th inning. And the first pitch to Flores is in for a strike and an 0-1 count. Kevin Gausman still on the mound as he just threw pitch number 89. The 0-1 pitch down in the zone inside. It's 1-1.
And he's very quietly thrown a pretty good game. He's into the 7th inning now, only giving up 6 hits, 2 earned runs in that first inning and walked nobody.
And he's done it pretty methodically overall as well, as that pitch just caught the outside edge on a slider. It's now 1-2. And the reason I say methodically, he has only 3 strikeouts in the ballgame. The 1-2 pitch outside down low. Jansen had to backhand that. Didn't really matter though. Nobody on base, as Flores is the leadoff man of this inning.
Gausman just threw his 92nd pitch, and Zach Pop is warming up in that Blue Jays bullpen now in right field.
Gausman gets ready to throw the 2-2 pitch. And it's squibbered straight toward the mound by Flores, picked up by Gausman, who underhands it to Guerrero. And there's one down. I think I just made up a new word too, squibbered. I'm going with it. If that happens again, that's a new word, squibbered.
That actually hit the ground and spun back into fair territory. That's how much spin was on that baseball.
Yeah, we call that a squibber.
I think he squibbered it. Pretty sure that was a squibber. But Flores got that off the very end of the bat.
When it hits the end of the bat and it spins and then has that kind of English to stay in and kind of go in opposite direction, we call that a squibber.
I think you put a D on the end of it.
Yeah,
squibbered.
He squibbered it, but that's a squibber.
I know squibber. I have to tell you, I've never heard squibbered.
No, we just made it up. I'm saying.
Okay. Well, you made it up.
We're going with it.
You made it up.
We're going to send a memo to all of the baseball broadcasters around Major League Baseball. Sent out to short, picked up by Jimenez, throwing over to first. They get Estrada on the ground out, and there's 2 down. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Brett Wisely, as Estrada sat down quickly. And Kevin Gausman is looking to get out of this 7th inning, much like we saw in Game 1 of this series when Yusei Kikuchi went all the way through 7 as well and thought he had a chance to win a game before Toronto gave it up in the 9th inning. But they bounced back yesterday with a big 10-6 win, and now Toronto leading 5-2 this afternoon. First pitch from Gausman to Wisely, in for a strike, and an 0-1 count to the left-handed hitting shortstop.
Gausman's thrown his 4-seam fastball 65% of the time today. That is a ton of fastballs.
Came back with a splitter on that one that Brett Wisely swings through, and it was a strike. Now 0-2. Gausman taking his time now. He's off the mound. Steps back onto the rubber. Couple of deep breaths. Stares down Jansen. The 0-2 pitch. And this one sent into left field, opposite field, but tracking it down, camping underneath it to make the grab about 5 feet in front of the track is Davis Schneider, and the Giants sit down. We go to the 8th with Toronto still leading 5-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The biggest names in NASCAR talk are now with SiriusXM.
Hey, this is Denny Hamlin, host of Actions Detrimental, driver of the number 11 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, and co-owner of 2311 Racing. Join me and my co-host Jared Allen every Monday for a recap of each NASCAR race from the driver's seat. We'll break down how my race went and hopefully ending in victory lane.
Hear Actions Detrimental plus every incredible podcast from Dirty Mo Media right now on the SiriusXM app.
The battle for European soccer supremacy has reached the knockout stage, and all the drama of the Euros is on SiriusXM.
Oh my goodness, what a story!
Every match is now win or go home, and they can all be heard on Fox Sports Channel 83.
That is sensational!
Before and after the matches, hear what the experts are saying on Sirius XM FC 157.
They are proven winners right now.
No one is covering Euro 2024 like Sirius XM. Listen in the car or on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Net Radio Network.
Welcome back. Tyler Rogers getting set to take over for the Giants. The right-handed hurler coming out of the bullpen, 2.76 ERA in 46 games this season. And the first batter he faces is Justin Turner, who reaches down, sends one into right field, but making the running grab is Mike Yastrzemski to record the first out. That was a tough catch for Yastrzemski. He was on the run and had to reach out and make that one on a shoe-top grab. One down. And Rogers has the very, very funky sidearm delivery. We're talking like Mark Eichhorn level. He is reaching down and nearly touching the ground with that thing. The first pitch to Jansen in for a strike on a sinker at 84, an 0-1 count.
Well, I don't know if he's quite submarine. He's not all the way underneath, but it's pretty close. Like you said, those knuckles are almost scraping the dirt as he throws to home plate.
And Jansen quickly down 0-2 on another sinker, clocked at 82. Rogers working quickly. The pitch outside. That slider at 74. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch high in the zone, fouled off by Jansen. It'll stay at 1-2. Junior J Sundays return on Sunday, July 21st. Come early and enjoy all the outdoor activities starting at 10:30 a.m., including artists, games, and more. And the fun continues inside throughout the game. Don't miss out, folks. Head to bluejays.com/juniorjays for your tickets. The 1-2 pitch. And this one's going to be popped up by Jansen into shallow center. And he can't make the grab. Wisely tried to go over the shoulder from short. And Jansen found grass. There was no chance for Ramos to get to it. And Wisely unable to make it clean.
Well, Danny Jansen almost hit that baseball off the knuckles. Rogers blew him up on the inside part of the plate, but luckily Danny Jansen finds no man's land out there between the center fielder Ramos and the shortstop Wisely. Nice placement right there from Danny Jansen.
It brings up Ernie Clement, the number 6 hitter in the Blue Jay lineup. He's 0 for 2 today with a walk. And again, we've referenced it a few times in this ball game, but why not keep mentioning the power he has shown in San Fran with a 3-run shot in Game 1 and another one in Game 2 last night. It would be a 2-run shot right here if he could get a hold of one, but he just fouled one off down the right field side. It's 1-1. Jansen has to trot back to first. There's one down here in the top of the 8th with the Blue Jays leading 5-2. Rogers looking over at first at Jansen. And he pitches to Clement, who punches one off the end of his bat into right field toward the line. It's going to drop in easily as Yastrzemski had a long run to get there, and that allows Jansen plenty of time to turn the corner and go from second to third. And now runners on the corners with Davis Schneider getting set to come to the plate.
And again, some weak contact. That fastball was off the plate by about 2 or 3 balls, and it blew up Ernie Clement, almost hit it off the knuckles, and he just drops it behind the first baseman. More weak contact, but Luckily for the Blue Jays, runners on first and third now and only one out.
So Schneider 1 for 3 today. Takes the first pitch in for a strike, the slider at 74. Batting .220 on the season with 10 homers, 36 runs batted in. He singled and scored back in the 4th inning. Blue Jays looking to get a little more insurance here in the 8th. Next pitch from Rogers, way outside and high. It's now 1-1. Rogers gets the sign. And now he turns and fires over to first, trying to keep Clement honest, as Jansen is at third and Ernie Clement at first with just one down here in the 8th inning. The 1-1 pitch. Caught the outside edge. That was a strike. Schneider didn't like it, but it certainly looked like it was in the zone from our vantage point. It's now 1-2. The sinker clocked at 83. The 1-2. And that one was outside by at least a ball, if not more. Another brutal call from Bill Miller as Schneider sits down looking.
Well, Eric Smith didn't like that call, and David Schneider didn't like that call either, shaking his head for the majority of the time walking back to that dugout. I wouldn't say that's a horrible call, but it's definitely not a strike.
It brings up Kevin Kiermaier, who's going to now try to keep the inning going with 2 down and runners on the corners. The first pitch to the lefty is in for a strike. The sinker was good. It's 0-1. Kiermaier's had a fine day, 2 for 3. Would love another one right now to cash in at least Jansen, who's sitting at third. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Kiermaier on a slider at 73 and an 0-2 count. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The Dodgers and Phillies are just underway in the top of the first. No score later on tonight. 8:10 Houston hosting Miami. And Rogers just tried to paint the outside edge on Kiermaier as Clement took off for second. So Ernie now stands on second, and that pitch was closer to the zone than the one that they punched out Davis Schneider on. I'm all confused now. The 1-2 pitch, and Kiermaier gets a piece of it, but it's a soft dribbler out to second. Picked up there by Estrada, over to Flores. They get the out at first, and they sit down the Blue Jays. So Toronto leaves 2 stranded. Still leading, though, 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom. Visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at Desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Getting set to start the bottom of the 8th inning, and the afternoon is over for Kevin Gausman as he goes 7 innings and leaves with a 5-2 lead as they hand the baseball now to Zach Pop. In 32 games this season, a 5.67 ERA. He wears that blue and white 56 on the back of the gray Blue Jay jersey and trying to lock this one down for Toronto, again with a 3-run lead here in the 8th. First pitch to the man at the top of the order, Jorge Soler. It's inside. It's 1-0.
And if you look at Zach Pop's last 15 games, he has a 7.59 ERA. But the most alarming thing, in 10 2/3 innings, he's walked 8.
Okay, I'm not going to look at them then.
All right.
Just going to focus on this one right here.
Don't listen to me then.
No, I'll always listen to you. I'm just not going to look at the numbers. Soler fouls off the next pitch. It's 1-1. Gets the sign from Jansen. Pop comes set. And the 1-1 pitch. That's a strike in the upper corner. The fans don't like it. But it certainly looked good to us. And it looked good to Bill Miller. It's 1-2. The pitch from Pop down Main Street. And it's fouled off. That slider clocked at 85. Soler got a piece of that one. So we'll do it again at 1-2. Been a beautiful afternoon in San Francisco with the sun shining all day. And the Blue Jays leading 5-2, trying to take this rubber match. Soler grounds it out to short. Picked up on a backhand by Jimenez over to first to get the out in plenty of time. There's one down.
Nice play by Jimenez in that hole on the left side of the infield, ranging to his right. A nice little backhand, throws that thing across the diamond right to Vladdy's chest. Tell you what, he's a good little player.
Patrick Bailey getting set to step to the plate now. The San Fran catcher. The switch hitter batting from the left side as he has all afternoon. He's 2 for 3 in the ball game, and the first pitch outside on a fastball, called a sinker actually, at 96 and a 1-0 count. The 1-0 pitch. And it's good for a strike. The cutter at 93 in the upper part of the zone. It's 1-1. Chad Green warming up now in the Jays bullpen. One down, 1-1 pitch. And that one outside. It's now 2-1. The sinker at 96 missing by a couple of ball widths on that outside edge. So Bailey ahead in the count, 2-1. The pitch from Pop. Bailey sends it out to short again. Jimenez picks it up, whips it over to first, and back-to-back outs recorded by Jimenez and Vladdy. There's 2 down.
Nice little play right there. Nice routine play. Fields that ball, scoops it up, throws it across the diamond. I said it before, but he's a nice little player. A guy that makes the routine play, makes the tough play on either side of him. Pretty strong arm, too, across that diamond.
I'm sure there's somebody obvious that I'm forgetting. I'm probably going to eat my words by saying this, but he kind of wears an odd number. Jimenez, 49. I'm trying to think of, now I'm not talking just even Blue Jays. I'm talking like sports, let alone baseball specifically, but number 49.
Well, I'm assuming that was given to him by the Blue Jays. So next year when he comes into spring training, he'll probably get the opportunity to choose his own number.
So don't run out and get a 49 jersey right now?
Although the hip thing to do now is to stick with it, keep that high number that you originally get. I did it, 63. I have no affiliation with 63 at all or connection.
The 0-1 pitch to Ramos, Elliot Ramos, is outside in a ball. It's now 1-1.
The first number the Marlins gave me in my first big league camp was 63, and I just kept it the rest of my career.
63, that is an odd one.
It's not odd anymore.
It's true.
It used to be, but not anymore.
The 1-1 pitch. Ramos sends it out to center, and that's going to be an easy one for Kevin Kiermaier. He makes the snag, retires the Giants, and on to the 9th inning we go with the Blue Jays still leading 5-2 You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
Don't miss a special SiriusXM NBA Radio Town Hall right now as the legendary Coach K sits down with former NBA great and Team USA Managing Director Grant Hill ahead of the Paris Olympics. The Grant Hill Town Hall only on Channel 86 and on the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM Sports, wherever you are, your team plays here.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike three and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on SiriusXM Channel 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue with you, getting set to start this 9th inning, and the Blue Jays leading 5-2. Leo Jimenez to lead things off here for Toronto in the top of the 9th before we hit the top of the order. All right, I said I was going to eat my words on number 49. I'm looking at Blue Jays, not even Major League Baseball, but Blue Jays all-time number 49. It was just a few years ago that Jonathan Davis wore 49 for a couple of seasons in 2019 and 2020. No disrespect intended to Jonathan Davis. There's not many that stand out on the list. And again, no disrespect intended to the likes of Brad Lincoln, Jeremy Accardo, Dave Bush, Matt DeWitt, but perhaps the biggest name in 1991, pitcher Tom Candiotti. That's maybe the biggest name on the list that wore 49. There have been...
So you've eaten your words.
There have been more than 25 players to wear number 49. But again, with no disrespect intended, it's not exactly a who's who in Blue Jays history. Actually, Luis Andujar did as well, so that's a decent name. Jimenez sending one out to left field, and the sun really causing issues before Michael Conforto is able to make the grab. Brett Wisely went out and eventually pulled away. Conforto called him off, but then the sun nearly handcuffed him. He made the grab at the last second before that ball hit him in the face. And now brings up the top of the order with George Springer with one out.
And I don't know if you know this or knew this, but the new pitcher in the ball game is Taylor Rogers. And the pitcher who pitched the top half of the 8th is Tyler Rogers, and they are twins.
And we go from the righty to the lefty. I wonder if mom or dad had anything to do with that. No, Taylor, you are going to pitch from the left side. We are going to manufacture 2 Major League Baseball pitchers, a righty and a lefty. George Springer takes the 3rd pitch for a ball and ahead in the count now, 2-1.
So you look at the Naylor brothers in Cleveland, obviously Mississauga boys. They are brothers playing together in Cleveland.
And that pitch just came inside to Springer. He didn't like the call. It's 2-2.
Josh the older, Bo the younger. I think it's on another level of cool that these guys are twins in the same bullpen. They get to sit next to each other every single game.
Well, and the fact that one's a righty, one's a lefty.
Actually, sitting next to my brother for 162 games. I don't know if I would love that.
I wasn't going to say a word because you threw me under the bus last time we talked about this with the Naylor brothers, so I'm staying out of this conversation. Springer's got the count at full. Rogers, the lefty, with the pitch way outside and a trot down to first for George Springer on the walk. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Spencer Horwitz, lefty on lefty matchup, takes the first pitch for a strike on a big sweeper from Taylor Rogers. The count sits at 0-1. Now Horwitz fouls off pitch number 2 and quickly down 0-2 in the count. Taylor Rogers, the lefty, looking over at first. Springer with the lead. The 0-2 count to Horwitz. He fires, and Spencer fouls off another one. We'll do it again at 0-2. Blue Jays leading 5-2, top 9. Horwitz 2 for 4 this afternoon. The 0-2 pitch, high and inside, and Spencer danced out of the way of that one. He'll step back into the box. The count now sits at 1-2. Again, Rogers looks over at first at George Springer with the lead. The 1-2 pitch, another one fouled off, and you talk about it all the time. This is what Spencer Horwitz does.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty tough pitch off the plate outside, and Spencer Horwitz, left on left, is able to just kind of stick the bat out and stay alive, fouling it off into the bleachers in left field.
Here we go again. The 1-2 pitch, high, way high, on a fastball at 94, and now 2-2.
Just what he does. He'll eventually get one over the middle of the plate. He always does.
The 2-2 pitch. And another one fouled off by Spencer. 18 pitches thrown now for Taylor, not Tyler, Rogers. The lefty came in here to start this 9th inning. Blue Jays with a 3-run lead. We're about 2 hours, 20 minutes into this ball game. And the Blue Jays hoping to close it out before heading to Arizona. The 2-2 pitch. Guess what? Fouled off again by Spencer Horwitz.
Yeah, but he wants that pitch back. That was a fastball right down the middle. About thigh high, a very hittable pitch. Spencer Horwitz just fouls it back.
The 2-2. And that one high. Missing on a sweeper. Came up in the zone. It's now 3-2. Again with Springer at first with the lead. The 3-2 pitch. And Horwitz off the end of his bat out towards third. Chapman was shading over, picks it up, throws to second, on to first. And they turn the double play to end the inning 5-4-3. We go to the bottom of the 9th with the Blue Jays leading 5-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home.
What's up, Blue Jays fans? I just wanted to jump in here and say thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys blowing up the chat right now. Julie, Carmichael, Bay Area Music Lens, Taking Care of Business, Randy Poss, Lisa Aiello. Appreciate you guys in the chat. West Coast Treasures as well, holding it down here during the game. And thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. And let's get back to the baseball. Go Jays, go. Let's finish strong and take this series.
Topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
First pitch swinging, Danny Jansen rocks the ball to left. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control. The Jays lead the Giants 5-2 as we head to bottom 9 at Oracle Park. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk today. Blair and Barker with the postgame show. Jeff will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. A quick check at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. The Yankees taking on the Rays tonight. First pitch of that game goes 6:50 p.m. Eastern, 3:50 Pacific. Coverage starts at the bottom of the hour on Sportsnet following this game. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays lead things 5-2, bottom 9 at Oracle Park. Chad Green on the mound. To close things out, here's Eric Smith and Chris LaRue.
All right, thank you very much, Show. Indeed, Chad Green on the mound, 1.57 ERA in 23 games this season. He's got a 5-2 lead that he is trying to lock down for the Jays. And the first batter that he will face is the number 4 hitter in the San Fran lineup, the left-handed hitting left fielder, Michael Conforto, who takes the first pitch inside on a fastball clocked at 95. It's 1-0. The pitch is good for a strike on another fastball at 94. Caught the outside edge. It's 1-1.
And I was actually wondering why Chad Green wasn't in that ball game on July 9th. But if you look back at the numbers,
Conforto popping one up. It's now 1-2.
He threw back-to-back games, July 6th and July 7th, and then they had an off day on that Monday. But he threw 27 pitches on the 6th, 22 pitches on the 7th. So the Blue Jays decided to give him two off days instead of just giving him that one off day.
Green comes with the 1-2 pitch, and it's sent right back to Green, who picks it up. Nice snag there. Runs toward first, tosses it underhand to Vladdy, and there's one down here in the 9th.
That was a great play right there from Trevor Richards. I think that would have snuck up the middle if he didn't make that play right there.
From Chad Green.
I mean, sorry, yeah. I had Trevor Richards in my mind because I was talking about the 9th when Trevor Richards came into that ball game.
It brings up Matt Chapman with the Blue Jays leading 5-2 and now 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Chapman in for a strike on a fastball clocked at 95. Eric Smith and Chris LaRue in the Timbermart broadcast booth. Getting set to close things out. Fingers crossed if you're a Blue Jay fan. Next pitch too high. Another one at 95. It's now 1-1. Also, if you're a Toronto sports fan, whether you are in the GTA or across the country, news from outside of Major League Baseball I'll give to you in a second. The 1-1 pitch is sent out to center field. It was given a decent ride, but on the track, camping underneath to make the grab is Kevin Kiermaier, and there is 2 down in the bottom of the 9th.
I'm looking forward to this news you're about to give.
It's not earth-shattering.
Is it breaking?
But former Toronto Raptor, one of the all-time Raptor greats, many consider the greatest Raptor of all time, Kyle Lowry, has re-signed with his hometown Philadelphia 76ers on a 1-year deal.
Earth-shattering.
I told you it wasn't earth-shattering.
Yeah. No, it was.
Oh, yeah?
I agree with you.
Your earth is shattered by that, eh? 5-2. Blue Jays lead 2 out, bottom 9. You just said, you've been saying a couple of times during this broadcast that I've been an optimist. You want to hear the pessimist in me?
Okay, go ahead.
The Jays look to be like this close to winning their second straight game. I'm still bothered by the fact that this should have been a sweep of the Giants, because they really blew that first game in the bottom of the 9th.
But again, Chad Green I know. Would have thrown
but
not
Trevor
3 days in a row.
Should have been able to close that out.
Sure.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Right now, we'd be talking about a 5-game winning streak for the Blue Jays going into 3 against Arizona before the break.
And he should have thrown that elevated heater instead of throwing that splitter down or that changeup down. I get it.
The 0-2 pitch, and we got to talk a little bit longer as that one is fouled off by Yastrzemski. He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Down to the final strike. And the fans trying to tell Mike to keep it alive. And he will for now as the 0-2 pitch is high. It's now 1-2. Green stares down Jansen, gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled off down the first base side by Yastrzemski. We'll do it again at 1-2. Yastrzemski grounded out to second in the second inning, had a base hit in the fourth, and flew out to left field back in the sixth. This is fourth at bat. The 1-2 pitch, high, inside. It's now 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, fouled off again. So Yastrzemski trying to make Green work here, extending this game, trying to keep the Giants alive in the bottom of the ninth with San Fran trailing 5-2. Crowd starting to buzz a little bit here, trying to rally around Yastrzemski and the Giants. It's going to be a big rally. It would take a big rally as they are down 3 with 2 out. Green trying to end it right here. The 2-2 pitch. High again, it's 3-2.
Well, they're really trying to elevate that heater. That's the third fastball in this at-bat that they've tried to elevate above that strike zone. Yastrzemski not biting.
The 3-2 pitch. And it's sent on a rocket to right, and it's going to make it over the wall. It's a solo shot for Mike Yastrzemski, and the game continues.
Well, that was the fourth elevated heater, and Yastrzemski, like I said, wasn't fooled by the first 3, and he was ready for that fourth one. Hitting that ball on a line out of here over that wall in right field. 5-3 Blue Jays now still with 2 outs.
And didn't the damage come in game 1 with 2 outs as well? I believe it did.
The eternal optimist.
Wilmer Flores steps in 0 for 3 as Green throws a strike on the first pitch. Might have been a little bit high, but take it and run if you're a Blue Jay fan. I'm calling it right now. The game ends here. It's over. Flores, I don't know if he's grounding out, flying out, or striking out, but the game ends. 0-1 pitch from Green. Little check swing foul. It's 0-2.
Well, you were incorrect, but that was a good pitch.
No, I meant this at bat.
Oh, this at bat.
This at bat.
Oh, I thought you meant this pitch.
No, this at bat. (5-3) Blue Jays leading. (0-2) Green with the pitch outside. Flores kind of thought about it for a moment, held back as that thing was way outside on the slider. And now Green comes back. It'll be his 20th pitch, the 1-2. And that one sent up over the backstop. We'll do it again at 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Flores sits down, and Chad Green gets the strikeout to end the game, and the Blue Jays take 2 of 3 against the Giants.
Well, Kevin Gausman was brilliant today. He gave up two runs in that first inning. But outside of that, he was pretty good. Walking nobody, going 7 innings, 6 hits. Like I said, those 2 earned runs. But I think the most important thing is he gave this team a chance to win, giving up 2 earned runs in those 7 innings. He was really good today.
So Toronto on 10 hits gets 5 runs beating San Fran 5-3 to win the rubber match, and now take 2 of 3 and 4 of their last 5 as they head into the final 3 games before the All-Star break. We'll step aside for the break, come back and wrap things up and get you set for Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Carnival is at the core of Toronto culture. Stand out in the crowd with your Blue Jays neon hat giveaway. The colors, the music, the heat, the vibes.
I don't know who's having more fun, the players or the fans.
Be at Rogers Center as the Blue Jays celebrate Caribbean Carnival and create core memories of summer in the city.
Everybody's feeling good right now.
Arrive early on Friday, July 26th and claim your Blue Jays neon hat. Blue Jays Caribbean Carnival. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kiermaier going back to the wall. He leaps and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays beat the Giants 5-3 as Toronto takes 2 of 3 in the Bay and now heading with momentum on a mini 2-game win streak off to Arizona for the final 3 before the All-Star break. Toronto this close to sweeping the Giants, and it could have been a 5-game win streak, but still 4 of the last 5, not bad. Trying to get some momentum going here heading into the break, and hopefully it doesn't come crashing to earth against the Diamondbacks, but they certainly looked good again today, Chris. And after a slow start yesterday for Bassett, he settled in, and the Jays' offense exploded. Not necessarily a slow start today, a hot start for the offense, but then Gausman gave back 2 and then settled in easily and settled in quite well, and then he got some insurance as the game went on, and part of it was right here as a shot from Spencer Horwitz got wet. And Spencer Horwitz.ca, not SpencerHorwitz.ca, although it might exist. Fire up the keyboard and check that one out right now, folks. Horwitz is trying to check this one out of the ballpark, and it will. It's deep and gone, and it takes a bounce off the concrete and into the water. The kayaks are scrambling as Spencer Horwitz has put the Blue Jays up 5-2.
Well, that was a sweeper down and in, and Spencer Horwitz, as we were talking about his new website, just golfs that thing out of here. Kind of took a couple bounces and bounced over the railing into the water. Well, like I said, it took a few bounces. I don't know if that's a true homer into that McCovey Cove out there beyond right field, but that was a big home run for this team, a big home run in this game. And again, Spencer Horwitz has been so good, so many good at-bats, taking good pitches. Eventually, he gets that mistake, and he rarely misses that mistake.
I probably shouldn't give this away because maybe there's money to be made, but I double-checked. SpencerHorwitz.ca is not taken. It says this site can't be reached, which means it is available.
All right.
So I just gave it to somebody out there. Maybe you could cut in me and LaRue. Anybody out there that takes that, we'll take. How about you give us we'll take 2%. That's extremely low. 1% for Chris, 1% for me. You take the other 98. So if anybody out there wants to register and make some money off SpencerHorwitz.ca, apparently it is available. But he certainly had a solid ball game. As the Blue Jay bats, as I said, came alive last night in the 5th and 6th innings, and then it continued on into the 1st inning today, and that was ultimately enough as the Blue Jays jumped out to a 3-zip lead. They ultimately led 3-2, then went up 5-2, and in spite a late solo shot from Mike Yastrzemski, Toronto goes on to win 5-3. They take 2 of 3 against the Giants and now head to Arizona, trying to go strong into the All-Star break. Thanks to Show Ali and Tom Young For Chris LaRue, I'm Eric Smith. As we hand things off now for post-game coverage, Jays Talk starts now with Blair.
Blue Jays beat the San Francisco Giants this afternoon. They have won the series. That's 2 series wins in a row for my Blue Jays. And they have 3 more games left before the All-Star break. They'll go into Arizona tomorrow to take on Gabriel Moreno, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and the Arizona Diamondbacks, Kevin Barker, and then the All-Star break hits. The numbers to call, as always, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. We've had a lot of time, and indeed there will be plenty of time, Kevin, to talk about big picture things with this team. Right, yesterday, Bo Bichette does that interview in San Francisco that set social media ablaze. I admit I helped it along a bit, but why not? What? Bo didn't play today with a calf injury. Then the Jays will give it a day or two to figure out, I guess a day at least. There's only 3 games left to figure out whether or not he goes in the IL. Dalton Varsho didn't play because of a bruised knee. Yesterday, of course, we found out that basically the entire minor leagues system, the entire pitching staff in the minor league system is on the IL, or shut down at least. I might have been exaggerating a bit. And then today, the New York Post reporting that Kevin Kiermaier was placed on revocable waivers. Not to doubt Joel Sherman, but there are no more revocable waivers in baseball. There hasn't been since 2019. So I'm guessing what Joel means is Kevin Kiermaier is on waivers. You can still play when you're on waivers. But basically, if there's a team out there that wants to sign Kevin Kiermaier for whatever's left in his contract, $4.5 million, I'm sure the Blue Jays would be more than willing to ensure that he is on a plane to that respective location. But this also sets the scene for the team to possibly release him, DFA him, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the big picture stuff. You want to talk about that, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. But, Kevin, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth here, because the Jays have won a couple of games, and I liked what I saw out of this series. I'm not saying they're going to go to the postseason. I'm not even saying they may end up in 4th place in the East, but I like what I saw out of these games. I like what I saw from Kevin Gausman today. Your thoughts on what?
Who are you? What's happened to Jeff Blair? Like
what? What you didn't find anything optimistic today? Kevin Gausman was terrific.
Yeah, with what you just said, I didn't take
strikes on. What did he throw? 64 four-seamers, 18 splits. I want to start with that. I want to talk about the Kevin Gausman we saw today.
Yeah, it's playing. Well, basically, it's playing in a big park. It's trying to keep that lineup who's not real good in the big part of the field. It's your split fingers been basically all season. That's why the guru Pete Walker's trying to figure out ways to make you look like you looked a couple of years ago, because for whatever reason the ball's not vertically moving the way you want it to vertically move. And the velocity was up on the fastball, it was spinning more. That I think is what he wants, right? He wants it to have carry through the strike zone. He wants it to have the little extra gear. He wants it not to miss as much arm side. He wants him to be able to, for the most part, to throw it where he wants to throw it, which is up, down, and away, and occasionally move a left-hander's feet. He'll throw, an occasional other pitch, but today it was mainly the four-seamer and, just the adjustments I think he's had to make mechanically because of what the split finger's not doing, playing in that park he's playing in, facing the lineup he's facing. I mean, let's face it, other than Ramos, who scares you with the Giants? Let's not lie about it. Like,
no,
it ain't like Chapman's walking up there and you're just shaking out of your boots. That ain't the case. So, I mean, if you start locating, the fastball's in the zone 72% of the time. He got 14 called strikes. He got 34 swings on 64 pitches, 64 fastballs that he threw. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. How do you keep the ball in the big part of the field? And how do you locate it to be able to do that? Hard to do that because your split finger ain't been real good. The sinker that he wants to throw, I don't even know what that thing does. I mean, I know why he throws it. I mean, he gave up the single before the homer on the two-seamer. That was 92. I don't get that. But hey, I guess when you're struggling mechanically, mentally to try and get balls going arm side where you want them to go, you sort of try and vent yourself. And yeah, he's a veteran dude. He's with a really good pitching coach. They're trying to figure out ways to give their team 7 innings, and that's exactly what happened. I like what Pop did too. We haven't talked about Pop in a while. He threw, what did he throw? He threw 12 pitches. He threw 6 sinkers and 5
top
cutters.
Top of the order too. They gave him the top
slider.
of the order.
Yeah, I don't think that's because they wanted to. I think that's because what the scoreboard told them and what they didn't have available. But just because of how sometimes the non-competitive nature of that sinker, I call it a two-seamer. It don't sink. It two-seams. Two-seams side to side. It ain't got the sinker movement that most sinkers do. But the times I've talked to Pete Walker, I said, when a guy's non-competitive with his best pitch, what do? He said, make him throw another pitch. That's why I wanted to say out of the 12 pitches, he threw 6 sinkers and 5 cutters and a slider. You go away from the slider, you throw more cutters, you make the sinker more competitive by having a ball move in the opposite direction. How do you keep it in the big part of the field? How do you keep it on the ground? That's how you do it. So it's just little adjustments like that, I think, that, sort of makes what the pitching staff does as a whole consistently. And I know they haven't had a good season. I know for the most part that bullpen stunk, but you got to give them credit sometimes. Occasionally when something ain't working, they go to something else and they'll continue to try it until they try and figure it out. So good for them.
Jordan Hicks had a rough first inning, 31 pitches, 17 strikes. We saw today, I think, why the Giants are already starting to figure out how they're going to manage this guy's innings. He was really good at the start of the year, was not very good at all today. Danny Jansen with the 2-run home run. But a couple of guys I want to talk about, Kevin. I want to talk about Spencer Horwitz, a home run, 2 hits today. And Leo Jimenez. But let's talk about Spencer Horwitz first. Look, Dan Shulman said in our show yesterday on Blair and Barker, and I think we're on the same page as Danny here. He's my second baseman right now, and he's hitting – I'm just going to let him hit second against righties, and he's got to be in the lineup someplace against lefties. Why not?
Why can't he hit second against lefties?
I'm okay with that. If he can hit second against lefties, too, that's fine. But I'm saying he's got to be in the lineup every day.
Yeah,
you wouldn't mind having him at second against lefties.
Whenever I asked Danny that yesterday, you guys laughed at me and said, because I said, how does he stay in the lineup against lefties and righties? And both of you at the same time said, switch hit. Like, again, we know how the Khakis are. We know how they're going to match up and put the guy in the right spot with the right bat path and the right angles with the arm. Yeah, I just like he has his at-bats according to the scoreboard, right? According to what the count is, according to what the guy's trying to do to him. He doesn't overthink it. He doesn't have a giant hole in the strike zone, right? I mean, he doesn't mind the ball up. He doesn't mind a breaking ball. Like, he don't mind the ball in. He can now pull the ball. I mean, that's why they sent him, so they tell us, it's why they sent him to AAA, is to figure out how to pull the ball aggressively and do slug to the pull side. We're starting to see that with the sweeper that he bounced into the bay. I mean, you just like the way competitively every single time he goes up, no matter whether the dude's righty or lefty, he gives you the at-bat according to the scoreboard. Not a lot of dudes in that lineup can do that. So absolutely, we're going to start to see, obviously, with what happened here with Kiermaier, that some things are going to start to happen. So you need to figure it out. If you got a guy you think can play every day for you, figure out if he can play every single day. I mean, he made that nice little play up the middle, backhanding it and throwing it sort of backpedaling, throwing a strike to Vladdy.
Probably the best play we've seen him make.
Carry. Yeah, that's just because they don't, again, they're very good at lining dudes up, putting them in the right spot, not making them, have to go side to side as much. So give them credit for game planning going into games against certain guys, knowing how certain lineups and certain, dudes hit the ball in certain places to the place where he's hitting. For me right now, he's the second baseman. Every single day hitting second.
Ernie Clement, an interesting point about Ernie Clement, who had a couple of home runs in this series and had a couple more hits today. But Arden pointed out yesterday that the home run he hit was the second lowest ball hit for a home run in the majors this year. And then Danny came back and said, that's funny because earlier in the year, he hit a ball. If you remember that elevated fastball, he hit that up. That's one of the highest pitches hit for a home run this year. What does that tell you about Ernie Clement?
He's got a short compact swing. I mean, it's not got a lot of wasted movement. And we've talked about this with guys that have trouble with velocity. You know, they have a lot of wasted movement, right? It's tough for them to consistently get the barrel to different quadrants on velocity. This dude don't do a ton of that, right? It's walk away from your hands, throw the barrel at the baseball, no matter where the quadrant is at. And, you know, this is what you go through when you're a young guy is you try and figure out how the league's throwing you, whether it's breaking balls. You're starting to see him do some damage on breaking balls to the pull side, which is sort of the graduation thing. You show a team you can hit a heater. Now they're going to start spanning it in certain counts and forcing you to do some things, big part of the field, do some certain things with 2 strikes to breaking balls. And because of that short, compact swing, eyes directing the barrel to different quadrants, at least gives him a chance. The everyday player, probably not. But, boy, you sure do like what he does with velocity. And if he can lay off the spinner that goes down and away to him, he's probably going to stick around for a while.
Here's an interesting stat. I know you're big in stats. Prior to the Clement home run against Webb last night, Webb had thrown 1,177 changeups in his career down and out of the zone. Just 21 of those resulted in hits. One of those was an extra base hit. And then Ernie Clement took him deep last night. And this is something you talked about. You noticed right away with Ernie Clement, the simplicity of the swing, the type of guy that can sit in the bench for a couple of days, come out and give you a competitive at-bat and is not afraid of velocity.
Yeah, he don't like the breaking ball a ton. I mean, most dudes don't. Like, everybody asks, hey, how do you hit the breaking ball? You normally don't. Like, you set the breaking ball up by how many times you're hammering the fastball to different parts of the baseball field, right? If I can cover it to different areas, now it forces them to be a little bit more fine with the breaking stuff, and that's when you start getting things that you can hammer. And you know, I would think if Webb had that back, he throws this little slider away and, you know, get a little rollover fanny out. Again, he's a nice little player. You can't have too many Clements on your team, which is right now sort of what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. But would you like to have him coming off your bench and a guy that can play some different positions and be versatile and hit a fastball? That's what they need to get back to doing, Jeff, is be one of the better teams in all of baseball, hammering the fastball. I like that he can do that. It's fun to watch.
Mike in Charlottetown, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hello.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
How are we?
We are doing well. Has it stopped raining out there yet?
On and off right now, actually.
All right. Keep it going.
I'm curious how you guys feel about the current situation with the Jays and their, like, the juice that they have as an organization or the pull that they have to be able to get players to come up to Toronto, to Canada, to be able to build out a roster and have a team that's going to be able to really, meet our expectations, I guess.
Appreciate the call, Mike. I'll turn it over to
look. I think if ownership has shown you anything that they've shown you in the last couple of years, they'll pony up. They're going to spend money. They find, even with the Ohtani thing, right? I mean, they were about to drop a ton of money. Now, obviously, off the field, that made a ton of sense. But what that's telling you is they're in win mode. Like, they want to spend money. They want a really good product on the field. If they find a certain player that they think they need to spend money on, ownership is showing people that they're going to do that. So, how do you get them to Canada, Jeff? You pay them, and sometimes you have to overpay them. So, is there work to be done here? Absolutely. Like, I think the run preventing thing has come to sort of an end here where they've, I think, come to the realization by what's going on in the American League East. You know, the Red Sox look like they may be turning the corner. We know what the Orioles and the Yankees are all about. You know, the Rays are going to end up being the Rays. They're going to start thumping again and getting back those healthy pitchers next year. So they're going to be a force. You got to do it on both sides of the ball. Like, occasionally your offense for a couple of weeks or a month at a time got to carry your team. And I think they're coming to this realization now they're going to have to go out and try and figure out how to do that. So the blueprint's there. Now you just go out and have to get it done, and we're going to see if the right front office is here to get it done. I think for me, that blueprint is here. It's just a matter of that me and you have talked about this till we're blue in the face. Is it this front office that's going to do it? That for me is the unknown.
Yeah, I have absolutely no question that this ownership will pony up. I mean, I've had agents tell me in the past 2 years that the Blue Jays, when it comes to it, will more often than not have the highest offer on the table in terms of dollars and years, because they know they have to do that to get a free agent. It's why they got George Springer here. It's why they got Kevin Gausman here. It's why they got Chris Bassett. I mean, basically that's why the Jays don't sign a lot of premier free agents for 1-year contracts or 2-year contracts. They're giving them multi-years. And ownership will do that. You know, ownership is spending up to the luxury tax. So, yeah, the Jays will overspend for free agents. You know, you look back at 2015, and I was thinking about this the other day. You know, that 2015 team, a lot of stuff happened. First of all, they got Jose Bautista for a song. I think it was Robbins and Diaz was who they got. It was who they traded for him. And he ended up falling in with a hitting coach and that worked for him, and his career took off. Edwin Encarnacion, let's not forget the Jays released Edwin. The Jays released Edwin. Oakland had him. They released him as well. So the 2015-2016 Jays had a lot of stuff fall in their laps. But when it came to free agents, and I know people are tired of me saying this, but it's true, they went out and signed Russ Martin, a Canadian-born player, and gave him more years and more money than anybody else was willing to give him. So if you have to do that to get a Canadian player here, it stands to reason you're probably going to have to do that to get any other free agent here. And the good news is ownership appears to be doing it. Now, as much as I will not question ownership's willingness to spend money because they've shown they will, like a lot of people, I do have concerns as to whether or not this is the front office I want spending the money. I can't put it any other way. They've done a terrific job of addressing the starting pitching situation through free agency. They've not done a great job of addressing the lineup through free agency or through trades for that matter. In point of fact, this front office has been living off Vladdy and Bo for 5 or 6 years.
Yep. Can't argue.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-866-0590. 5-3, the Blue Jays have beaten the San Francisco Giants. They're off to Arizona for 3 games against the Diamondbacks before the All-Star break. Kevin Gausman looked awfully good today. Zach Pop came in. Kudos to Zach Pop, as Kevin Barker pointed out. Chad Green came in and gave up a home run. Chad Green's your closer right now, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. And I want to talk a little bit about Leo Jimenez, Kevin, because with Bo's knee injury, he started today. It's apparent he's going to see a fair amount of playing time as long as he's up here. Looks pretty smooth in the field to me. What do you make of him at the plate?
Yeah, well, it's very hard to do that.
It's early.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of that. He does look like he's got a strong base, which gives him an opportunity to see the ball a little bit better out of the pitcher's hand and a little bit longer. Like, he's not jumpy. He doesn't have a super hard base to repeat. What I'm talking about is the lower half, right? It's basically he just picks the leg up, he sets it down. It's a sort of walking away from his backside with his front foot, which is not the hardest thing to repeat. It looks like to me he's got a pretty direct upper half, which that's what we've seen him hitting the ball to a big part of the field. Left center, up the middle, right center. You stay in that part, it's going to keep you direct. It'll keep you on breaking balls. Looks to me like he's got a really good eye that can do that. It's the big league at bats, right? In the 4th inning, he was one of those guys where he took a 2-0 sinker, got to 2-1, got to 3-1, took the 3-1 sinker down and away, got the 3-2 sinker down in the middle. I've said this to you till I couldn't say it anymore. You got to let the pitcher throw you one down the middle. And the way you do that is to take the pitcher's pitch. It's like 3-1 counts for a young dude who's trying to prove themselves and wants to play now that the shortstop's hurt. You're going to chase 3-1 sinkers away. He didn't do that because of the base, because of the way he sees the ball. And that's sort of what we've heard from people that's played with him, people that's played against him, coaches that have coached him at the minor league level, is that he will let the pitcher throw him one down the middle. And because he has good direction, good enough bat speed, good enough length with his swing, which will allow him to stay in the big part of the field, not miss the pitches that he's getting, that he should be hitting all the time. Defensively, looks to me like he's going to catch the ball right at him, follow his throw. He's very accurate with it. He's got a strong enough arm to play shortstop. Why not?
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. It's a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk on this Thursday afternoon. We're going to step away, come back, go back to the phone lines. It is Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
We're two men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're two men in a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Sportsnet Plus is the streaming home of the Blue Jays.
Fastball line to left, and it's caught.
Watch live games at home or on the go.
Long run, Springer! Oh, what a play!
Plus, catch Blue Jays Central for pre- and post-game updates with Jamie and Joe. Miss the game? Replays and Blue Jays in 30 are here for your recap.
Pitching has certainly led the way.
Watch it all unfold on Sportsnet Plus. Plans start at $19.99 a month. Subscribe now at sportsnetplus.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
So, you want to be a loony dogger, eh? Are you the relish ringleader, seventh inning snacker, TikTok topper, or ketchup king? Every Tuesday, Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the home run hound or value virtuoso, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
To talk about a series win. When you think about it, the game they lost in the series was on a wild pitch from Trevor Richards.
Really, it was a 2-out walk that led to the wild. Yeah. He doesn't walk the bottom of the order. They sweep the Giants on the road like it's walks will kill you.
Yep. Neil in Brampton, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Well, I think we're doing okay. Better than quite often this year.
Better than a couple of days back. I agree. It was that walk that killed us.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I'm just going to say what I got to say, and then I'll let you guys talk. I know it may sound weird, but when I heard about the injuries yesterday, I was like, okay, finally, this could open the door to let the kids play. Now, and I want to give a shout out to the radio crew. I've been listening on the radio all summer. I listen at work. I listen to you guys every day. I think it was Passon you guys were talking to yesterday. Amazing conversation. But I want to give a shout out to the radio crew for the Blue Jays games, man. They do an excellent job. I can literally picture what's going on in the game with the way they explain it. Now, I'm optimistic. I'm never giving up on this team until we are mathematically eliminated. I will always believe we're going to win the World Series. But with these kids finally getting a chance to win.
Are you still there, Neil? Oh, I think Neil's on.
Oh, Neil was on a roll.
Yeah, Neil, thanks for the call. We'll address it. We'll address the
Jeff, I think
Buffalo
they are
kids.
playing, right?
Yeah, they are. They have no choice.
Yeah.
They are playing. Now, the question is, what else is down in Buffalo? I know Dan Schulman talked about Nathan Lucas, and my goodness, he's been with the organization, for a while now. So, hey, if Kevin Kiermaier ends up being moved out, and it certainly appears as if something's in the works with him, and no surprise with the trade deadline approaching, if that is indeed the case, why not bring him up? I mean, you've kept the guy in the organization for 3 years. Bring him up. At this point, who knows? Maybe you'll find something. That's where I am with these guys. Do I look at these guys and think that there's an everyday player in this group? I mean, I'm not going to come out and say that. I think Horwitz could be. I don't know about the other guys, but I'm willing to give him a chance. Why not? I mean, they've won games with them in the lineup. We've seen some decent approaches from them in the lineup, but you have to pull back a little bit here. There's not a lot down there in Buffalo. Nope. This is not a great minor league system. There's not a lot down there. Aurelvis Martinez has been suspended for PED use. He's done for the year. So I think we need to just cool our jets a little bit. But hell, I got no problem at all, man. I'd rather see Leo Jimenez than Paul DeJong or somebody like that added at the trade deadline. Why not? See these young guys can do.
Yeah, they got to trade for Paul DeJong.
Well, they did last year, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah, look.
No, listen, we know that
they're going to get their chances.
Yeah, the trades. Of course, they are. The trades you're going to see this year are going to be more like the Steve Pierce for Santiago Espinal deals we saw in the past. So, they'll get their chance. And I have no problem with it.
Yeah, let's be real. The only one right now that you really want to see consistently is Horwitz. I mean, that's the one realistically going forward because of where he could hit in the order and what he can do with baseballs with a bat in his hand. If he can play defense and just not destroy your pitching staff when it comes to not, making the routine play or just doing that part of it consistently good enough that he's a big leaguer, that's the one I want to see. I sort of know what David Schneider is already.
Do we still have Josh in Bowmanville? Hey, Josh, go ahead.
Good day, gentlemen. How you doing?
We're doing well.
This is a bit of a random question. I'm not trying to stir the pot, but what's the biggest impact Don Mattingly has had with this team since he's been here?
Jeff?
Ooh, you are trying to stir the pot, aren't you? Thank you. Appreciate the call, Josh. Kevin, you talk to people. What's the biggest impact he's had? All I know is he's the offensive coordinator of a team that's offensively uncoordinated.
Yeah, I've talked to people. I mean, the questions that I ask are not, is Donnie Baseball any good at his job? I mean, I've never said that. I mean, that's basically the question that the caller is asking.
Yeah.
Is he any good at his job? I have no idea. Like, how is anybody that's not in the room supposed to answer that question? I just know what the baseball team offensively has looked like for most of the year. And I will say this, and I've been asking you this forever. Why does the slumps last so long? If you got a guy like Donnie Baseball over there who has been through everything, had back issues, still trying to stay on the field and be productive offensively going through that, you'd think he'd been through, Jeff, anything mechanically, physically, moving around in the box, almost doing everything except hitting right-handed. You would think he'd be quicker at that. That's the part of me that I just don't understand.
Yeah, you made 2 points that have stuck with me. One, the slumps do last long with this team. And 2, why is it that the dudes who show up at this team for the past couple of years have been the best hitters in this team early in the season?
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The one that hasn't subscribed yet. Come on, guys. Hit that subscribe button down below. Let's keep growing this awesome community of Toronto sports fans that we have right here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys being here. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that little bell so you don't miss any of our notifications when we go live for every single Toronto Blue Jays baseball game. And upcoming this season, Toronto Maple Leafs games, Raptors games, Toronto Sports Insider. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the chat.
In 2.5 months saying that they want Donnie Baseball as the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays.
No, so the idea that you could keep the fan base happy by making Don Mattingly manager, I don't think that's going to happen. 5-3, the Blue Jays have beaten the San Francisco Giants. They have won this 3-game series. They got the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow. A reminder, Blair and Barker will be along from 4 to 6 Eastern tomorrow on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and Sportsnet. The manager of the Blue Jays, John Schneider, will join us. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers on St. Clair and Laird Avenues in Toronto. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. They are Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game. It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet. Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather. A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history. High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw. And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone, but no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM. All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app.
Net 853, Spanish feed on Sirius 139, XM 180, and Internet 870. 6:35 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Chicago Cubs. Orioles on Sirius 106, XM 181, and Internet 842. Cubs on Internet 844. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the New York Yankees. Rays on Sirius 119, XM 182, and Internet 866. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the Oakland A's. Red Sox on Sirius 138, XM 183, and Internet 843. A's on Internet 859. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Miami Marlins. Astros on Sirius 162, XM 184, and Internet 850. Marlins on Internet 854. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Seattle Mariners. Angels on Sirius 161, XM 185, and Internet 852. Mariners on Internet 864. 9:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Atlanta Braves. Diamondbacks on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 840. Braves on Internet 841.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Danny Wexelman from SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 stopped by to talk about the New York Mets.
Watching them play the game, I would say over the past couple of weeks, it's been different. And they're getting timely hitting. They are playing the game foundationally. For me, watching them play, they look like they have a lot of life in them. They're doing all the small things right. They clearly care about each other. The clubhouse, the vibes look good. Everything about this team feels like they are coming together. It's showing on the field now. And I know that a couple of weeks ago, they had their players only meeting. And this was after Jorge Lopez threw his glove into the stands, and that whole moment happened. And it feels like since then they've just played different baseball. And I think it's such a treat, X, to listen to Carlos Mendoza talk about his team and talk about the fight they have. They've kind of dealt with, per usual, some odd drama, right? Edwin Diaz, who's out for 10 days now, suspended because of the sticky stuff on his glove from Sunday. They're dealing with that. They don't have him. And what happens last night? Well, Sean Manaea, what you won't see, I don't think you'll pay enough attention to, but to me stands out in that game are the 2 double plays that he got to get out of jams in that one against a Yankees lineup who can go off at any time. And then it was the baby Mets, who Gary Cohen said maybe are growing up a little bit. Mark Vientos the night before, and then Francisco Alvarez last night, who have fueled the lineup. It's just been really cool to see what they've accomplished and where they're at. It's similar to the Astros, X. They've lived 1,000 lives already this season, but they're playing good baseball right now.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, July the 11th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds taking the Colorado Rockies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 846. Rockies on Internet 848. 1:10 p.m., Detroit Tigers take on the Cleveland Guardians. Tigers on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 849. Guardians on Internet 847. 1:10 p.m., New York Mets face the Washington Nationals. Mets on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 857. Nationals on Internet 869. 2:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Brewers on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 855. Pirates on Internet 861. 3:35 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Giants on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 863. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 6:05 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the LA Dodgers. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish feed on Sirius 139, XM 180, and Internet 870. 6:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Chicago Cubs. Orioles on Sirius 106, XM 181, and Internet 842. Cubs on Internet 844. 6:50 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the New York Yankees. Rays on Sirius 119, XM 182, and Internet 866. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Oakland A's. Red Sox on Sirius 138, XM 183, and